We're doing it live. Graveyard edition, like we do it every graveyard evening. Live draft news. We're going to kick off a bunch of this news and these players we need to discuss before we get into the live draft. The live draft begins in 9 minutes and 38 seconds. To get into the draft, you need to click this link right here. It is Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Click this link if you could right now. Get ready. Boom, there it is. I'm going to pin it in a second. The link's in the description of every video. Underdog will match up to $100 in your first deposit, so click that link and get ready to go. We're going to discuss all these players right now. Javonte Williams and why he's important to talk about tonight. Gibbs getting some work tonight. Caught an 18-yard pass. Swift looking very, very good. Swift looked good. Pickens pulled in a touchdown. Dotson pulled in a touchdown. Kenneth Walker's back at practice. These two running backs we need to talk about a lot because values could be a climbing, and we need to discuss. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
What is going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me. This video right here will be returning. Don't worry, I got the video recorded. I'm just tweaking some edits for part 2 of this part 5 series. Part 1 is already on my YouTube. Last like 5 or 6 videos. Look for the Bijan video. This is top 5 running backs. Part 1 of 5. So part 2 is Gibbs, and that drops probably tomorrow. Hang tight on that one. We're getting into the draft in 7 minutes and 58 seconds. So hit that link in the live chat and make sure you are all signed up on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. And let's go ahead and get to the news and discuss a lot of what took place here in the preseason so far for some of these monsters, these fantasy football moon men. Look at this moon men list, by the way.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
Look at this list. This list is doing so well.
Space monsters.
We are on a roll so far. I'm not saying, God forbid, any injuries happen. Look at the Mars men list.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
I couldn't be more thrilled about what we got going on.
And spinning aimlessly in space.
I mean, this Mars man list is absolutely phenomenal. Fields looking great today. 2 touchdown passes, and go watch my Fields rant for all the people saying, Smitty, Fields threw. Did you see he threw 2 short passes? And they were touchdowns, but they were all the blocking. It was the offensive line. It's because it's preseason. He didn't do any work. You can't make up your mind, you Fields complainer. You can't. The Fields complainer out there is such a complaining Caleb that he one moment is ripping on the Bears and saying they don't have enough firepower. They don't have enough weaponry. They're not going to be able to support Fields. It's not going to happen. It's a disaster waiting to happen. And then he gets weapons and people complain. Roger has been a YouTube member for 12 months. 12 months. And we got Double D back in the building, dropping double deuces in the building. Double D dropping a 20 gifted membership.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Double D doing taxes while he's sitting there just typing away. Double D, I can't tell you how empty my heart and soul feels when you're not around during these graveyard shifts. I'm just telling you, you've been kind of in and out lately, and when you're not here, we feel it. The show is a lot lesser without you. So thank you so much for all your generosity and just being here. Like, just you being here makes me feel good, pal. So appreciate you. We got some super chats in the building. Then we're getting to Walker and Javonte. We might go a little over time on these discussions, but Double D, DW's an absolute boss. Super chats. Trey dropping a $10 wad. $10 haulers get moonshots, baby.
To the moon.
Appreciate you, Trey. Trey says, what's Trey saying here? Trey says, need some help. Full PPR, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 1 tight end, 1 flex. Am I taking Bijan? I think because it's 2 wide receiver, I would take Bijan almost, number 1, really. People can laugh at you all they want. Trade down if you can, because I think he's pretty safe at 3. You'll even get laughed at if you pick him at 3, so trade down if you can. But in a 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, and a flex, you essentially could start 3 RBs, and our RBs are a lot more valuable. So I would go that route personally. Full PPR, you're not crazy to go JJ or Jamar Chase. I got the 1.9. Thank you, Trey, for your super chat. I got the 1.9. I'm not getting Bijan. Who are some of the 3 favorites that you can drop on me? Also note, Wilson is getting picked if I don't get him in the first. Wilson, number 1. Let's just throw him out there. Number 2, Bijan, Garrett Wilson, St. Brown. I think it's very, very unlikely St. Brown, Wilson, and Bijan are all gone. If they are, then you got some kind of like Kelsey option. I would say Bijan, Kelsey, Garrett Wilson, St. Brown would be my order. That should fully take care of you there. St. Brown to the absolute moonshot for St. Brown. Thank you, DW, for dropping this massive wad on screen. Guys, we got some stuff to discuss. What we've seen happen lately, the last week, the last couple days, we've seen these players pop off. We've seen Jahan Dotson pop off. We've seen George Pickens pop off. And yes, it's preseason. Yes, some of this stuff can be a little deceiving. But like I always tell you, when you think something in advance and the data supports it, even if it's preseason, even if it's a 40 time, even if it's the combine, when you have stuff supporting evidence to what you already feel, it's powerful information. When you just see something like a 40 time and you never like the player to begin with, that is the reverse, the faulty way of using the data. So when we see Pickens go out there and score a touchdown and look like a boss doing it, when we see Dotson catch an even more impressive touchdown pass right around like the 7 yard line, somewhere like that, and in between 2 defenders, he finds a way to turn his body and forces momentum into the end zone. He doesn't even get tackled, and it was just an unbelievable touchdown reception by Jahan Dotson. You start seeing guys like Swift, who is a moon man, I might add.
The moon man, dropping loads in outer space.
Look at this man. Look at him. Look at him. Take a long, hard look.
Space Monsters.
This man has been sitting on the moon man list all offseason. People have been ripping him apart. Oh, Swift this, Swift that. He's never going to get an opportunity. They're not going to throw to the RB, Smitty. They're not going to throw to him. Swift gets hurt. There's a reason Detroit didn't use him. Smitty, the Eagles traded for him because they want to do the exact same thing that the Detroit Lions did to him. These negative Noahs that don't understand what's going on and why the team acquired him. They haven't been watching the practice reports. They haven't been watching the video clips. They haven't been absorbing all of the offseason information that suggested that they got Swift involved in their offense from the jump. And when he's not running the ball, he's receiving the ball. And they're going to have design plays for him. And they're going to throw to him a ton. They're going to make him a wide receiver. He could quite arguably be Jahmyr Gibbs-like in terms of his workload, in terms of being a wide receiver / running back instead of a running back wide receiver. But what was on display tonight by DeAndre Swift was an absolute smooth operator session where Swift came out, and that might be the Swift animation we need, the smooth operator. Dial that 0, baby, and call the operator because he's wearing number 0. We just came up with it on the fly. That is a beautiful, beautiful animation in the making right now. Swift, let's dial the number 0 on the phone line and get a hold of the smooth operator. Swifty, wear number 0. Ridley, wear number 0. Zero's back, baby. The introduction of the jersey number 0 is doing it live. And this guy, Swift, is going out there looking quite swift, I might say. Looking speedy. Nice little footwork. And this guy goes out and totes the rock twice. And what does Swifty come away with? 24 4 yards, 12 yards a pop. And he did amazing doing it. It wasn't a wide open lane. It was shiftiness. It was being elusive. It was using his momentum and his footwork and spinning and getting himself into certain pockets and rushing lanes that normal running backs wouldn't have got a chance to even develop or see the play evolve to that point. Swift looked phenomenal in his 2 carries and also the entire drive. A lot of stat sheet Stevens are going to look at the stat sheet and go, oh, 2 carries, huh? You're getting excited about 2 preseason carries. How about you open your eyes? How about you watch an actual preseason game? Why don't you take a look at the fact that this guy was pretty much the sole running back on the opening drive, and he was blocking. He was running downfield. When there was a scramble play, he was trying to block for his quarterback who was sneaking it up the left side of the field. And Swift was making blocks and being very aggressive and involved in every aspect of this game. And when you see your running back looking out for your quarterback, especially on a scramble, and he's upfield blocking for him on what looked like it wasn't exactly the most designed play. Maybe part of it was, maybe it just looked like it wasn't designed, but it was. But Swift was getting work done protecting his quarterback. That's exactly what you want to see out of your running back, especially when you're concerned about workload. And we got a $20 hauler from Clinton dropping fire right in the nick of time. Look at this guy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Avin says I got 0 shares of Swift. That's a sad story. That's a sad story, Avin. That's a sad, sad story, my guy. I got zero jersey number to sell you, and it's a Swift jersey. Santa Claus coming to town early, Clinton. Thank you for dropping the $20 hauler. 12-team PPR, 10th pick, 6 points per TD pass. Is it better to load up on wide receivers and running backs than take a Cousins or two late? No, Clinton. I know you might be new to the content, it seems, or have been away for a little while. Clinton, I recognize you. You're not new. I think you just haven't been here for a while. But you need to. What's the wrong button? The 4 horsemen. Look at him. Look at him. And what's great is you don't even have to draft Burrow in 4. He's in 5 now. That 4 horsemen, sick. Clinton, go watch on my main YouTube video homepage, or my main YouTube homepage. There's a video row called The Best 4 Picks in Fantasy Football 2023. And 2 of them are quarterbacks. Joe Burrow in round 4-ish, 5, 6. It depends where you have to take him. Right now it's about 6. The calf injuries knocked him to 6, 7, but he's kind of climbing to 5 again, probably 5, 6. Fields is in 4, 5, 6. It just depends. Probably more so 4 right now after today. You might have to take him in 3, to be honest. But these are the best 4 picks in 2023. And these videos explain why you need to stop thinking about waiting on a quarterback. Because these are second-round quarterbacks. These are second-round quarterbacks, Clinton. Fields and Burrow, second-round quarterbacks. Why are they second-round quarterbacks? Because they could be the number 1 scoring quarterback in fantasy football 2023, Clinton. And if you can get them around 4 or 5, wherever they're going, you're putting yourself in a major advantageous position to win your league while other people are drafting second-round quarterbacks. Well, in the second round. And you're taking a second-round quarterback in round 4 or 5 because people don't know what time it is. I think there's a certain point where you stop bargain shopping at quarterback and you start looking at what's right in front of you. Okay, league winning potential. So go watch those videos, Clinton. That will definitely help you. That'll definitely help you. Thank you for your super chat. $20 hauler. Clinton's a monster. Clinton to the moon. Clinton, I appreciate you. Clinton to the moon.
To the moon.
Okay. So watch those 2. Watch all 4 videos, Clinton. They'll enlighten you as to why I believe what I believe in those 4 guys. But I think those 4 videos will really help you understand the difference between a second-round early quarterback and a fourth-round early quarterback, and why it's so important to pounce on the 4th and 5th round. Fields going 3. Jason said Fields went 15 overall in the weeklies. We'll find out tonight, but just don't be the guy to do it. Let's see if it happens. Swift, 2 carries, 24 yards, 12 yards a pop. Again, the drive was super involved. Gibbs had an 18-yard reception today, and didn't. Let me pull some of these numbers on screen here. Some of these. Romeo Doubs, everybody knows about that from yesterday. 21 yards and a touchdown. Christian Watson had 2 receptions for 6 yards, but he had a big play broken up, and he had another play he was overthrown. Like, if Watson had those 2 connected on it, and don't blame Jordan Love on this, the one play was broken up, very, very good breakup and good throw. The other one was an overthrow, but it's better to overthrow than throw an interception. So it wasn't like Love made a huge mistake. It was just a touch off. And if Christian Watson would have connected on those 2 with Jordan Love, we'd be looking at like 40 yards, maybe a touchdown, maybe 40, 50 yards and a touchdown. It just depends on what would have happened on that play if they connected. So understand what we're really looking at when we say Jordan Love threw to Doubs and Christian Watson had 6 yards. Christian Watson looked phenomenal. Jordan Love looked phenomenal. 7 of 10, 46 yards and a touchdown. Jordan Love was a beast. So many takeaways from this preseason. Malik Cunningham is a guy to watch in New England. This guy's an absolute running machine. He ran 5 for 34 and 1 touchdown. The quarterback, backup quarterback for the Patriots. The backup of the backup, 3 of 4, 19 yards. Obviously, unsure what he can do on through the air, but he had a good college resume and ran the ball as much as Lamar Jackson. He's a really, really good running quarterback. Very exciting for New England Patriot fans because now you have at least a shot. You have a guy, you have a dark horse candidate that could be something. He really could be something. I feel really good about him in Dynasty. Pick him up in Dynasty right now. Tank Dell, 5 catches, 65 yards and a touchdown, 24 long, 8 targets. 8 targets is the major takeaway here. The fact that he's doing work like the entire first half, beginning of the game, with no matter what the quarterback was, whether it was Stroud, whether it was Davis Mills, means that he's packaged and he's cemented into this thing. And he's going to have an absolute wide receiver 3-4 season. And when you're in trouble in week 4, who do you call? When you're in trouble in week 4, who do you call? Tank Dell, that's who you call. When you hit Buy-Mageddon and you've drafted so well, you've got just a plethora of wide receivers, but some of them are on buys and you're hurting, who do you call? Tank Dell. He's like a one-up. He's like an extra life. He's like an extra life in your fantasy football draft. Tank Dell to the absolute moon. This is a phenomenal week for us and our moon men. Absolute amazingness. This right here, par for the course. McDaniel says that Adams' leg injury isn't crazy serious, but let's be real. This is not something that you want to hear. You don't want to hear, okay, it's not, you want to hear that he's fine. He's going to be fine. It's not crazy serious. Kind of implies to me that there's a shot he could be like maybe not ready for week 1. We'll find out on that, okay? Hang tight, but Jimmy Garoppolo throwing hospital balls up to Javonte Adams, and that's how he got hurt with a pass over the middle. Jimmy Garoppolo is notorious for throwing hospital balls into the air, into the middle of the field, where his wide receivers are going to get hurt. Jahmyr Gibbs had 6 carries for 19 yards and an 18-yard catch in his preseason debut against the Giants. This is good news. Probably won't raise his value too much, which is kind of better than if he had, I think, gone off, because we still think he's going to this is that happy medium of watching a guy excel early, like Travis and I talked about on the show the other night, and then wanting him to go nuts right away just to cement himself into week 1. You know what I mean? You want Gibbs. If Gibbs goes nuts, then the team's like, we're leaning on him in week 1. If he doesn't go nuts, then you're wondering, does he get a slow start? So it's a happy medium, wishing for a mediocre preseason and also wishing for such a good preseason that it ends up really helping you. Laporta was held without a catch in his preseason debut. Not a big concern. It's not like if a guy doesn't do anything, you can chalk it up to him becoming a bust. It's just nice to see validation, right? Baker Mayfield completed 8 of 9 for 63 and a touchdown. Look, maybe he ends up doing something good in Tampa Bay. Maybe this is one of those things I was wrong on We'll find out. And if I am wrong on Baker, if he starts looking better, and Evans starts looking better, and Rashad White maybe starts looking better, maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneer team is going to be one of my oopsies. I don't know. You know, I'm very open-minded about switching directions. You guys know me. The biggest thing about me is I'll change directions when I feel like I was wrong about something, and I think too many people dig their heels in. They get too worried about looking bad. If I'm wrong, if I did an oopsie, I have an oopsie and nailed it show that I didn't really do much last year that I should bring back. And hopefully Baker Mayfield in the Tampa Bay Buccaneer offense could be my oopsie. We'll find out. That would be phenomenal, because there's a lot of good players on that offense that we need to do well, right? So Sam Howell completed 9 of 12 for 77 yards and a touchdown. Let's just say the Washington Commander offensive line let him get blitzed like crazy. This guy's getting hit, running for his life, but he still looked really good. He still looked really good. So hopefully they protect him better. A-Chain, 10 carries for 25 yards, not the best yards per carry on the ground, but he caught all 4 of his targets for 41 yards in his preseason debut. We'll be live drafting here in a second. Sorry if I'm going a little overtime here in terms of the updates. Joe Burrow is progressing as he should. We've seen him running on the sidelines. We've heard him throwing 50-yard missiles down the field. He's looking good. I know I got a couple super chats coming in. Hang tight. I'll get to those just in 1 second. Justin Fields completed all 3 of his passing attempts for 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. And all the Justin Fields haters out there are so pissed off. He scored 2 touchdowns on 3 throws. All they do is complain about them being short passes and that he kind of underthrew them. The receiver caught it. The running back and the receiver that caught those touchdown catches, there were screen passes or short dump-offs, right? And those short dump-off passes were such effective blocking schemes and plays that, yeah, Khalil Herbert took his into the end zone with doing a lot of wiggle, by the way. There's a lot of wiggle and cream. Khalil Herbert, you know, he's partly to you got to give the credit to him for closing the play out, but this blocking was amazing. This offensive line was amazing. And I told all of you that this offensive line was going to be so much better than people predicted, because people were judging it off faulty data. Everybody judging the Bears offensive line last year, it was faulty data. It was a faulty setup scenario where the offensive line was asked to block 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds longer than they should have been, while this guy's scrambling around for his life because there's no wide receivers. They're all injured, and the wide receivers that weren't injured were like practically the janitor and the hot dog salesman on the field trying to find an open lane after running a horrible route and being done with the route, and just Fields scrambling around the field and throwing only 11 INTs while being there in that situation running for his life. And so people complain. Caleb says, oh, yeah, there's no offensive line. Caleb says, there's no weapons. And so finally, we see this offense, this scheme, this coaching staff, this offensive line, the weaponry, take 2 short dump-off plays to the house on 3 attempts. Fields throws the ball 3 times, 2 of which were short dump-offs, big, long touchdown runs of over 50 yards, or reception of over 50 yards, a run over, or 2 receptions over 50 yards, 1 to the running back, Khalil Herbert, 1 to DJ Moore. And they're both short dump-offs. And what is the complaining Caleb, the worried William, the petrified Peter say? Oh, there were just 2 short passes. Fields didn't do anything. It wasn't him. It was the blocking. It was the wide receiver. It was the running back. So let me get this straight. You complain over and over and over about Fields not having weapons, Fields not having offensive line, Fields not having blocking, and then when he finally gets it done, then what do? You complain about it again, and you find another reason to hate Justin Fields. So get over it. Get over it and get on board. We're taking away your Fields card. And I'm taking away every single one of your Bijan cards out there, you Fields haters. I'm taking away your Bijan cards right now.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
And, okay, so Fields to the moon. Fields to the absolute moon. Double D dropping a 50 watt. I got a couple other super chats. Javonte, I'm getting to it. Double D. DW comes in this chat. I love this man. I love Double D. I love him. I love DW, the man we call Double D. He's an absolute monster. I'm sorry, I do. I'm not ashamed to admit that DW is an absolute gem. And I don't know what we do without this guy in here. We're doing karate in the garage later. We're going to build the bunk beds, more room for activities. DW dropping in here and says, Smitty, first Yahoo draft of the season, 12-team PPR, 3 wide receivers, 1.1 is what he had. QB, T-Law, the Law Dog, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, fantastic quarterback stable, JJ, Garrett Wilson, Tony, Jameson, running backs are Gibbs, Walker, Javonte, Charbonnet, Pitts. This is an absolute monster conglomerate. Are you sure this is a 12-man league, DW? This looks like a 4-team league. A 4, not a 14. A 4-team league. This looks like maybe 5. Maybe there's 4 players and you convinced a 5th person to play, a 5th grandma to join your league. Gibbs and Walker, both top 10 running backs, one of which could be top 5. Garrett Wilson and JJ, both top 5 wide receivers, one of which could be number 1. The other could be number 3. Okay, Kadarius Toney, wild card, but I love him. Jameson Williams, wild card, but I love him. Javonte, Charbonnet, what more can you ask for out of this man? DW dropping a straight wad on the screen on top of one of the best teams I think you could assemble, bro. You hit it out of the park while you were probably doing taxes at the same time during your draft. DW to the moon.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
God, DW is such a monster. He really is. He really is. If anybody doesn't know how much this man has been such a big part of this show already, and he's relatively new. Unbelievable. Giovanni says, time to send Deuce Vaughn to the moon. Let me put that right here because I got my animation for Deuce Vaughn to play. All these Deuce Vaughn doubters out there, get ready to watch Deuce Vaughn continue to be electric. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about Deuce Vaughn? You know, I feel like we're hitting everything right now. Dawson with a super chat. Dawson, I don't see a question. I'll try and search and see if maybe you meant to attach it. Let's see. Where's my Deuce Vaughn animation here? Or my scene, at least. Yeah, I called Deuce Vaughn on draft day. Do you remember when Deuce Vaughn got the call from his dad? Right after his dad called him, I called him. Hey, buddy. How's it going? It's going good. This is Smitty. My phone wasn't working. Looky here, man. You want to come to work with me on Sundays? I wouldn't mind that at all.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Smitty, he's too small. Smitty, he's 5'5". Name the last time a 5'5" running back ever succeeded in the NFL, because I'm a closed-minded Caleb, and I'm closed-minded. And I don't think anybody can ever succeed at a 5'5" frame because it's never been done. Because things aren't meant to be broken. There's never meant to be somebody that's new or fresh or does something different, Smitty. What did I tell you? What did I tell you about this little Deuce Vaughn? This little Deuce. He's like a little Deuce on the field, rolling around, and you can't see where he is. He blends in. He's below everybody. He if anybody remembers Quentin Griffin for the Denver Broncos, some of you are not old enough to understand. Some of you weren't even sharding in your pants yet when Quentin Griffin was running for the Denver Broncos. He reminds me of Quentin Griffin. And Avery says Smitty only replies to super chats. Not true. I just replied to you, Avery. The problem is I have over 500 messages so far. You know, 28 minutes into the show, Avery. I can't get to everything, and I'm in the middle of doing news, Avery. So I'm doing the best I can. There's only so many words that come out of my mouth at the same time, Avery. So I'm doing the best I can. But yes, super chats do jump ahead. That's kind of the way it works when you have almost 300 people in a show. You can't get to everything, Avery. That's why the super chats are there. But I appreciate you still. And I'm peeping at the chat. I'm looking for great comments or comments like this that I need to address just to let you know how important you are, Avery. but I can't get to everything is basically what it's all about. Ethan, I'm in the middle of a news thing. Put yourself on mute, and I'll come to you in a second, okay? Just put it right on mute. Don't mouth breathe on the line or anything, and I'll come to you in 1 second. Giovanni, time to send Deuce to the moon. Absolutely, you bet your bottom dollar. Deuce Vaughn is going to be exciting, and he's a must-have handcuff to Tony Pollard. And Deuce Vaughn should be drafted in the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th round, like Tank Dell. Tank Dell's now like in the 12th or 11th. But Dawson, I'm gonna try to find if you had another chat somewhere or question. Brian says 10-man, 3 keeper player per team, keeping AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, but can't decide between Ridley, Pollard, or Breece Hall. I have the 7th pick. What should I do? Pollard is going to be the hardest of the 3 to get back. You already have 2 monster wide receivers. I don't mind having 3 wide receivers. Pollard is the guy that you're going to have the toughest time getting back. You could probably redraft either Ridley or Breece. Their ADPs are lower, so I probably would roll with Pollard. However, it would be fun to go in a 10-man league to go Ridley, and then you could draft like Walker, Gibbs, Breece, like 2 of those guys, and you could get like a Charbonnet, and then you would get like a Pacheco or a Swift, and you'd be fine. But I kind of like the balance of keeping Pollard, and I think he could be a top 5 running back this year, bro. So I'm going to go Pollard, man. Pollard for me, but it's a very good question. You can't go wrong between Ridley, Pollard, and Breece. Honestly, they're all so arguable. I would waver on that for like 10 minutes if I was on the clock, making that draft selection, and all 3 of them were right there. So just to give you a little insight as to my exactness on this, I would waver on it. I would sit there and waver for 10 straight minutes. Hey, Smitty, I traded my thank you for the super chat. Hey, Smitty, I traded my 2nd and 6th round, so I have the 7 and 9 overall. Running backs are heavy premium. Who do I take, and then who do I target after that? I need to know who's on the board, man. It's hard to really give you an exact, but I mean, if Bijan's there, you take him. If CMC's there, you take him. If running backs are heavy, then you got to look at those things. But it just depends on like what you can do with those other picks. Like, would Walker be there in the 3rd round if it's running back heavy? Would Gibbs be there in the 3rd round? Probably not. I don't know if I would have traded up then. I almost would have rather had, like the 7, 2nd and 6th. So I traded up my 2nd and 6th round. So I have this 7 and 9 overall. I'd rather have Gibbs than like in round 2 in a running back heavy. Running back heavy, everybody. Understand what I'm saying. He's telling me that running back's going to fly off the board. Then to sit there and now force myself to take a guy I don't really like better than Jahmyr Gibbs. And you can't take Gibbs in the 1st round. You're almost crazy to take him in the 2nd round. And I'd rather have him over like, I'd probably go Barkley, CMC, and Bijan. But if they're all gone, I'm not forcing Nick Chubb into round 1. I'd rather just take Gibbs down below. I'd rather take Gibbs and Walker later on than force myself to go RBs in that top territory. So, I don't know. Okay, let's see here. I think, let's see here. Cameron says, who do I take, and then who do I target after that? Who do I take? Hey, Smitty traded. Oh, I already got that one. Appreciate that. Okay, Vinny, appreciate you, Vinny. Detest, what's up, my guy? Cup scares you. He should scare you. He should scare you. He should scare you a lot. Because Cup's injured right now. He's got 2 potential injuries that you got to worry about. Okay. So I think we're all caught up on the super chats. Thank you all for the super chats. Let me just go through these one more time. And let's see here. Dawson with the super. Double D dropping another $20 hauler. Dawson says, hey, Smitty, I've been loving your show all summer. I did my very first Underdog Fantasy Draft. Promo code Smitty, by the way, we're drafting here. Code Smitty at the bottom of the screen. It's also in the let's see, did I pin it yet? I don't think I pinned it, but here's the link right now. I'm dropping it right now. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. We're drafting here just a couple minutes here. Bear with me. I'm sorry about the delay. I said we'd draft in 10 minutes, and we're 34 minutes in. Actually, you know what? Let's start the draft right now. Everybody click on the weekly winners. Weekly winners is where there's no Super Bowl or end of season prize. I'm not going to click it yet. It's just every single week is separate and original and different than every other week. So week 1 has nothing to do with week 2. Week 17 has nothing to do with the first 16 weeks. Every week, 20K goes to first place. Every single week. Every week, 10K goes to second place, and so on and so on and so on. And none of the weeks tie to the other weeks. It's absolutely phenomenal. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, 1 tight end, 10 bench players. Click the green button now on weekly winners. And if you don't get in, just click this link now in the live chat and get in a draft alongside of us. I'm going to get in now because there's a little bit of a YouTube delay. 9 more to begin. I'll put the board up. Let me answer this question right here. Smitty, I've been loving your show all summer. Did my first Underdog Fantasy Draft promo code. Smitty, thank you for doing that. 12-team best ball, 3rd pick. QB Burrow, I love it. Hall, Gibbs, love the running backs. Jamar Chase, Pickens, Dotson, and Kincaid, love it, bro. So your first rounder was Chase. Your second rounder was Hall. Your third was Gibbs, and then Burrow 4. It seems like maybe you reached somewhere on one guy, which is okay. You got a bunch of monsters. Part of me wonders if you did this draft over and over and over. Part of me wonders if you could slip in a Walker in the mix of this, altogether, or a Javonte or a Pacheco or something like that on top of everything you have. Phenomenal start. That's the formula, Dawson. Keep executing on it. And even if you're drafting a lot of the same players, and you'll get different variants of it, some being much better and heavier looking than the one you have there. So keep trying it. Don't stray away from this formula. I believe if you get like 20, 30 variants of that, or as many, don't do more drafts than you can, only spend what you can. Nobody should be ever trying to spend anything they don't have. That's what's great about Underdog is they're so cheap. You can wait for the $4 drafts, or if you can front that kind of $15 entry fee. Then Dawson, thank you for dropping that. Dawson dropped a super chat originally for $4.99, then dropped that question. And DW dropping yet another $20 hauler on screen.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
I love this man. I love this man. DW, Double D. He says 300 plus, but only 78 thumbs up. Let's do this. Hit the thumb up button. The content is fire. Smitty works for us 24/7. That's right. I work for you, Double D, and you do an amazing job. Everything, all your support's absolutely phenomenal, and I just can't thank you enough, Double D. This guy's sitting here doing taxes every single night. I love it when Breece Hall falls to the bottom of 3. That's kind of what I was telling Dawson, right? Let's see, who is that I was talking to about that? That was Dawson. I was telling Dawson that Breece, he might have taken in round 2. So if he keeps applying that formula, Dawson, you might be able to get yourself into a position where, okay, I'm on the clock. JJ, Eckler, McCaffrey, Chase, Bijan, Tyreek, Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp. No, thank you. I'm not going near Cooper Kupp. AJ Brown's interesting. Diggs. I'm gonna go I'm going Amon-Ra. I can't not. I got a big grin on my face when I do it too. And I'm not ashamed of myself. I don't feel bad about myself. I don't feel like I'm making mistakes. I feel like Amon-Ra St. Brown would know if I didn't take him. And he'd write my name down in his notebook. You know what I'm saying? Smitty, pump the brakes on Jordan Love. Ricky Bobby, you let me handle when to pump the brakes on a player or when not to. And I'm going to put the gas pedal down on Jordan Love. How's that? How you like them apples? Sacktown in the building. Appreciate you. Sacktown. Nick Chubb, baby, says the test. I think we're caught up on supers right now. Let me go back to the board view on this draft. After my Amon-Ra, so it went Justin Jefferson, Eckler, McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, Bijan, Tyreek Hill, Kelce. I took Amon-Ra. It went Cooper, Garrett Wilson, AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Hurts. Okay. Super chats are all caught up, I believe. Ethan, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Thank you for being patient, bro. I forgot you were there. What's up?
Smitty, old buddy, old pal.
What's up?
It looks like we're not getting Khalil Herbert on the cheap late anymore. So I don't know. This preseason is kind of bringing me down because at least it didn't ruin Gibbs though.
Yeah, but we've been talking about we talk about Khalil
bit.
Herbert like almost once a night. So like you should have been scooping up as much as you could. You know, you should have been.
Yeah, well, I only do a 1-2 QB league. I don't do any of the best ball. But yeah, I think Herbert took a big hit because now they know he can do what he did last year, and that
Look,
he's the one.
but again, in best ball underdog fantasy, what we're doing right now, promo code Smitty, like you should have been scooping them up enough to where you're gonna be able to reap the rewards of a late rounder. But let's see where his ADP gets shuffled around to, because dude, a lot of people don't watch the preseason. A touchdown pass or a reception, it could affect him greatly. You know what would affect him more is the coach coming out and saying he's our number one. That would affect him more than a touchdown catch in the preseason, because you're still going to have a lot of analysts out there that are going to be like, pump the brakes on it, like the Jordan Love comment a minute ago. Like, you're going to have a lot of people saying that, and so I think it'll stave off some of the hold on one second. So Jalen Hurts 2.1, Double D dropping another 20 gifted memberships on screen. 1 second.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Double D just doing double D type things in the chat. Jalen Hurts going 2.1. Nick Chubb, Stephon Diggs, Barkley. I took Tony Pollard. I got Amon and Tony Pollard. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Ridley, T. Higgins, Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Devontae Smith. So we'll see where this all goes. But yeah, you should already own a lot of Khalil Herbert, bro. I mean, we talk about him like almost every night. At some point, somebody brings him up, and we're like, he should. We want him to be on the Moonman list. He's going to be we got him on the mid-season monsters, bro. Look, Khalil Herbert. He was a Moonman last year. He's on the mid-season monster list, as is Jay Flowers and JSN. Mid-season monsters. What is that? What is a mid-season monster, Smitty? It's a player that's going to play at Moonman level potential by midseason. It's a way of saying this is a Moonman, but he might not be a Moonman right away. So Khalil Herbert, JSN, Zay Flowers, midseason monsters. Those are the top three so far. Javonte was on track to be a midseason monster until we put him back on the Moonman list, baby.
The Moonman, dropping loads in outer space.
So he doesn't need to be a midseason monster. He's a week one monster. So we'll see where he goes in this draft. But Justin Fields went in the third round. The third round. Who took him? I don't even know if that's our guy. That might just be a regular Joe taking him in the third round. Justin Fields has breached round 3. And I think that's probably going to be on the regular. I don't know that you're getting Fields. He was in 5. Bro, he was in 5. He was a player that I continued to say, steal him away in 5, steal Burrow away in 4, 5, 6. And now Fields went from being a 5th. Do people even understand how many leagues they could potentially win? How many best ball opportunities they're going to have to win tournaments? How many leagues they're going to win potentially by getting Fields in 5 for as long as we got Fields in 5? It's crazy. It's crazy. Welcome to glory. All right, hold on. I've got a pretty balanced team here. I could go Brees here. I could go... I'm going to go Brees here. Keep in mind we're doing weeklies. Okay, so there's something to, taking a guy like Brees Hall who could have a slow start. And I don't think he necessarily will, but if he does, I'm fine. All the risk is baked in because this is a weeklies. I could care less about the season. This is how many weeks can I independently try and win. And if I win one, I get 20K. Doesn't matter what I did in weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I could do crappy the entire season in week 17 if I'm the highest scoring player out of everybody playing this. In week 17, 20K to me. So that's how it works. We'll see who's here for me in this next pick. I got 2 picks in between. It went after my pick. It went Lamar, Andrews, Herbert, Kenneth Walker, Watson, Jerry Jeudy, and it's coming back around to your boy. Let me get on over to the list here and take a little peek at who's available. This is going to be a tough call here because there's still a lot of good guys left. But I got St. Brown, I got Tony Pollard, I got Breece Hall, and there's 2 picks up. Travis Etienne was one of the guys I was looking at. Jonathan Taylor, he'd be interesting in round 4, to be honest, in weeklies, because even if he starts off slow, this is weeklies. You don't care. With the options that are left on the board here, I'm going to go Joe Burrow. And I don't care if that feels a little early. The quarterbacks are flying off the board awfully quick. DW, I don't know if this is another gifted membership 20 or not, or the original, but I'm going to send you to the moon one more time for just being such an amazing person and such a great person to have in here. Sacktown's been a member for 2 months. This is, hey, Smitty, who do you like better, Lance or Purdy?
To the moon.
To be honest, bro, I don't know. Part of me wants to see Lance out there because Purdy's looking pretty choppy, and he's been throwing interceptions like crazy. And we also saw Purdy get figured out at the end of the year a little bit. They have foggy memories to it. He was so great coming in, unprepared, and he came out and commanded the pocket and was able to check down, and he was able to go through his progressions and hit every receiver through the route trees and like extend plays. That's what he did best of all. He extended a play so that Kittle could be involved, so that they could throw to all the wide receivers instead of Jimmy being, locked onto the first target and not going through the whole progression tree at all with the wide receivers and allowing the offense to really evolve and be multi-dimensional and have different layers to it. Purdy did do that. That was good. But the problem is Purdy may have gotten figured out, and he's also coming back from a UCL repair that is very, very, how should we say, not common in the NFL. And so we don't know how he's going to respond. Here's the draft so far. After my Burrow pick went DK, Najee, Trevor Lawrence, Mike Williams, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Hopkins. Ethan, what else you got? And the phone lines are open, by the way. Let me put that on the screen.
You don't need to go with Brock Purdy or Trey Lance. You can go with Sam Darnold because he's the next Joe Montana.
Yeah, according to a lot of the beat reporters, which is just so ridiculous.
Did you see Anthony Richardson's incomplete pass to Alec Pierce and that sidearm flick? The arm strength that guy has?
The arm strength is impressive, but to be honest with you, bro, I don't know. I just think there's too much. Like, I like him a lot. I think he could develop.
Well, not for this year. Not for the.
Well, at certain points, like weeklies,
he'd be like Big Ben in 15 years.
Yeah, weeklies will be interesting. Weeklies will be interesting, but I don't know that I feel like I could start him anytime soon in fantasy, and a lot of people are like leaning that way. Maybe his INT today and his lack of effectiveness today might scare some people off, but we still have a lot of time. Like, we can't judge him in one preseason game, but there aren't a lot of weapons there, and with JT not in the fold right now, like there's nothing for him to lean on. So like we can't expect the world from him. All right, hang tight, Ethan. Travis, you're live. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Slim?
What's up?
I don't know if you can do it right now, but there was like 4 or 5 people asking if you could throw the Moon Men up real quick.
Yeah.
I don't think they were here earlier.
Yeah, let me make my pick real quick, and then I'll toss it up. Kind of a tough call here. Cool. I've got Burrow, Pollard, Breece Hall, Amon-Ra. Man, this is a really, really tough call here. Wide receiver, I mean, I don't want to get like caught behind on the wide receiver front, but geez, I'm gonna go Javonte. It's a little not that early, but a little early on Javonte. I think he's more of a 6th-round guy, but we're in Snipe City right here, and I've got Amon-Ra. I got Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Joe Burrow. Actually, let me click on my team view. Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Javonte, Joe Burrow, Amon-Ra, St. Brown. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Moon Men list is right here.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
This list is amazing. Javonte, Tank Dell down in the corner.
Space Monsters.
Are you disappointed, though, that 2 years in a row, Javonte never truly overtook Melvin Gordon and was the sole guy like James Conner?
Am I disappointed? Hold on 1 second as you're interrupting my Moonman introduction here. Bijan, Gibbs, Pollard, Breece Hall, Swift, Pacheco, and Cuffs. So you need to have McKinnon, but you might need to keep an eye on Prince. Walker, Charbonnet, Wilson, Olave, Watson, London, Pickens, Dotson, Ridley, Dell, Javonte, T-Law, Fields, Chiga, Okonkwo, and Kincaid. And then, of course, the Mars men list is even better.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men. Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly.
But to answer your question, he didn't not overtake Melvin Gordon. He got injured. He tore his ACL. Melvin Gordon was released. There was no, not taking over Melvin Gordon's job. In fact, Hackett was begging for one running back to be the sole contributor in between the tackles. So when people say they're scared that Hackett's going to potentially, ruin Breece Hall or something, that's not the case because he 100% was trying to I could take JSN right here.
And the year before that, Javonte was a rookie, so he kind of had to work his way in. So, and he was leading the league in broken tackles or close to it, even going part.
No, he was the number one broken tackle running back.
But then Melvin Gordon would put up a 60-yard run, and then it would be like, nope, he's. But
what's your point?
Away.
What's your point though? What's your point though? Negative, Ethan. That he, as a rookie, didn't grab the job, and then as a sophomore, tore his ACL. He didn't not overtake Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon was released. So am I disappointed he tore his ACL in his second season? Of course I'm disappointed he tore his ACL.
Over usage.
What?
We want him to get James Conner usage, where they're literally cutting.
Well, give him a chance. Give him a chance. He's only played a year in a couple games. So what are you talking about? He tore his ACL. He was on his way. If he didn't tear his ACL, bro, literally that next week or that exact game, he was about to be unleashed, man. So no, I'm not disappointed.
It was bad timing, I will say that.
Of course it was. But we can't talk about. I took JSN here because it's weeklies. I love Pickens. I was very torn between Pickens and JSN, and honestly, I'd take Pickens in normal drafts, but in the weeklies, I thought, you know what, JSN's going to have those huge weeks. I know he's going to. I think Pickens will be more consistent and score maybe more points on the year, but in the weeklies contest here, Javonte's slow start, that's fine, because all I got to do is win 1 week, and I win $20K. That's this contest. This contest has nothing to do with a season-long victory. It is every single week is an individual league. You're drafting one time, though, for that entire series, right? So in week 1, $20K to first place, $10K to second. Third place gets 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, all the way down. And then in week 2, it starts over. There's no week 1, there's no week 3, there's no week 5. It's just week 2. Who scores more points? Guess what? $20K, first place. So this particular build is interesting to me because I'm taking guys that I believe, even if they take a little while to get going, JSN's going to eventually be the number one wide receiver in Seattle. That's just how I feel. I think he's going to be the number one wide receiver. Then you got Javonte. I think he's going to eventually be, if not in week 1, an absolute monster down the stretch. Breece Hall, same thing. Both coming back from ACL tears. Tony Pollard, I think he's going to have huge games. Joe Burrow, feeling really confident with this weekly squad so far. And now we approach a territory where I'm gonna get sniped hardcore on a lot of the guys that are ranked really low down there, but this is like-minded individuals coming in for the kill on some of these guys, so I might not get some of the players I want. Zay Flowers is tempting here. Rashad White, Alvin Kamara is tempting here. Evan Ingram's tempting here. Jahan Dotson is probably the guy I would have taken, but of course, again, he's 7, 8, 9 players down, and he still goes. So that's just the nature of drafting with all these amazing, like-minded individuals here. Who am I going to take here? Who am I going to take? Probably going to say, because I just need some big games, I'm going to go Kamara. And even though I have 4 RBs and I really only start 2 in a flex, did somebody drop another 20? Did Double D drop another 20? Did Double D drop another 20, or is that still going from Double D's other one. Either way, Double D's getting a moonshot. I can't even tell if that's a new one or not, but Double D's an absolute monster. DW, appreciate you. What do you guys think of this team so far? Joe Burrow, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Javonte, Kamara, Amon-Ra, JSN. You like it?
As long as you can pick up some wide receivers, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
I think you can. There's quite a few, especially with the weekly thing. There's quite a few wide receivers you can strategize there. I was actually one of the things I was actually going to ask about. Kind of goes off of what who's the other caller right now?
We got Roger on hold who hasn't talked yet, in negative Ethan.
Oh yeah, negative Ethan. He's the one. Kind of going off what he was saying. People are, and even myself, you worry that ADP falls too much with some guys. And I know we're talking about millions of people on every platform and stuff, but with guys like Javonte and Fields or anyone on the Bears, Herbert even, and different players you see that kind of pop off, it seems like almost none of the haters. Now maybe if they keep doing it, they'll change, but none of the haters are willing to even change. Now I don't know if maybe secretly they do in their drafts or something, and it changes ADP a ton, but so some of these guys, their ADP will change, but it may not drop quite as far as some people say.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's the double down. Donnie's just like, bro. I posted. I'm sure you saw my Instagram. Everybody that follows me on Instagram, make sure you do if you don't, because I post a lot of good content on there. And I posted 3 Justin Fields videos and content on Justin Fields today. I posted one on a plethora of guys, but the negativity and the doubling down taking place inside my comments is absolutely jaw-droppingly shocking and unbelievable. Like it's like 25%, maybe 30%. I'm guessing, I don't know for sure, negative. Like, are you kidding me? He threw 3 passes, 2 of which were very short, underthrown footballs, and you think he's good? When those same people, all they complained about all offseason was that he didn't have weapons or a good scheme or a good blocking or a good offensive line. Now that he gets both in 2 exact near identical plays where he dumped off to the running back and the wide receiver, and they scored a touchdown on a long, like 50-plus yard play on each occasion. Now it's not Fields, it's just the offense. Like, do you say when Mahomes throws a little dump off to Kelsey, and Kelsey takes it all the way downfield and manhandles 4 or 5 defenders, and it was like a 7-yard pass, delayed pass to Kelsey after he breaks off a blocking assignment, and he takes it all the way downfield. Does someone come in and say, "Oh, that wasn't Mahomes"? It's just stupidity, really. It's stupidity.
I feel like a lot of them too just see the highlight and just react to that. Like I know everyone. I wasn't watching all the games or anything, and everyone's not watching all the games, so they see the highlight and they kind of go, "Oh crap, I didn't want that to happen," and just react to it too.
It's just ridiculous. All right, hang tight real quick, gentlemen. It
was crazy.
Yeah, it was. DW dropping wads all over the place. Thank you, DW, for dropping that 20. I can't even tell how many he's done. I'm gonna have to search at the end of it. And I think he keeps dropping them because they won't stop, and it's unbelievable. I gotta say, let me. I gotta push this out of the way and get these real quick, and then I'll put it right back up. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, or Garrett Wilson in round 2. I'd probably say, look, I went Amon-Ra over Garrett Wilson in this draft, but I would do the opposite the next draft. So this is preference, man. I mean, honestly, I could go back and forth. In one draft, I'd take one, and in the other draft, I'd take the other. They're both top 10 overall players to me. So you're getting either one in the second round is crazy. What's the end date and cost for the Sway line? What? Oh, Sway. What's the end date and cost for the Sway line? What are we talking about here? Sway is the bird that's my favorite. Like is my number one fan. But what are we talking about here exactly, Grizzly? Because I'm not following what you're asking, but. I love Sway. I love Sway and his papa, man. These guys are unbelievable. Thank you both. Man, I don't know what I'm going to do here at this pick.
What's going on, Smitty?
What's up, bro? Who's this? Is this
What's going on, man? It's
is
Roger.
this Roger? What's up? I'm sorry about the wait, Roger.
No, man, you're good. Hey, I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit. I just I'm doing a lot of mock drafting. I'm in like a 12 half-point keeper league, and I got Ramon Stevenson in the 6. So it's like a good base. But I see a lot of people are going a lot of pass catchers heavy. I mean, and I'm thinking that is the way to go. I'm saying pass catchers because I'm picking in the 6th spot. So I'm always trying to get one of those like 4 or 5 top like receivers, or if Kelsey's there, I'm thinking of getting him. But then I keep getting a couple of guys that keep falling to me, and I just wanted to know what you thought their value was in the rounds that they're going in. I don't really hear you talk too much about like, what do you think of, is Lamar a decent value in the 3rd? And then maybe going back up over there, if you build up that roster with a good amount of pass catchers early on, and maybe get another running back in there in between. I've been reaching a little bit on Darren Waller in the 5th just because, it's kind of the same as me pulling the trigger on him in the 6th, since you got that 6th-round pick already taken. But what do you think of
Yeah,
those
I mean, let me
guys?
just stop you there and just say that these are all a bunch of cemented in like conversations that quite honestly, it's all flow. You can't have like set plans, but in generally speaking, I don't disagree with some of the things you're saying, but Lamar Jackson in 3, I'd never take. I worry about his PCL. I worry about changing offense. I worry about a lot of things, but I don't hate him.
Gotcha.
I just don't think he's, in my opinion, worth a 3rd rounder when Justin Fields has been going in 5 the entire offseason. We've been scooping him up left and right, and now he might climb into that territory. And I definitely take Fields over Lamar. I mean, he's one of my top. Whoops, wrong button. He's one of my top 4
No, I would
picks.
agree with you 100%. Only thing is Fields is like not on the board. Let's say there,
Okay.
He's kind of kept up in that.
Well, is Burrow there?
particular
Because I'd rather
effort.
Burrow. Is Burrow there?
No, sir.
T-Law, where's T-Law gonna be? Round 4 or 5?
T-Law, I think might be there.
Yeah, I'd rather just wait a round or 2 and take T-Law. I just think Lamar, you're missing out on like the Gibbs territory and the Olave could fall territory. There's no way I'm taking Lamar in that 3rd round there. But in general, what you're saying, there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not forcing a pass catcher. I'm drafting the best player available that can hit the biggest home run from their ADP every single time I'm on the clock. Whether it's reaching for a player that can explode from their ADP or drafting a player that's right about right. I'd rather have Gibbs all day long than some of the running backs you're taking in that 2nd round. And so I'd rather wait if he could fall. I don't know if he'll fall. Real quickly, Fields going to break records. Thank you, Last Action Hero. Appreciate that. And I do think he's going to be absolutely bonkers this year. Thank you for the super chat. Chesterfool says, Bijan or Diggs, you can rank Garrett Wilson, St. Brown, Adams. It's Garrett Wilson and St. Brown are tied. And then Adams is like a whole round or more past those guys because of his situation. Like his situation is not good. And he's injured and his quarterback is throwing hospital balls to him, which, we predicted was going to get him hurt. He's already hurt from it. He's already hurt from that. We talked about him getting hurt because of Jimmy, like literally daily. And Jimmy just got him hurt. So he's not even close to Garrett Wilson and St. Brown. They're tied though, but Bijan's ahead of both those guys. Bijan's my number 1 overall player if it's a running back heavy draft. So thank you, Chesterfool, for dropping that. Bijan Robinson to the
Pikachu
absolute.
looks like David Boston.
Oh.
Yeah.
Pikachu.
Just emailed a
drop 10 more.
Huh? Double D. Jeez, double D.
DW dropped 10 more.
To the moon.
He's up to 70.
DW, you might be breaking
70
records tonight. I don't know. By the way, the phone lines are dedicated. I don't know if DW's seen this, but the phone lines are dedicated to both DW and TMT. TMT actually matched you that one night. And the top super chatter in a single live stream so far this month. And I think there was somebody higher, but since we started it.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I'm going to time out here. Hold on, gentlemen. Just wait 1 second for me. Okay, I was going to time out. Just email you a picture if you're interested. I have a Kurt Warner Cardinals Super Bowl 3-foot fathead type of cutout in great shape. I'd love to donate to the show. I'm out here in Phoenix as well. I didn't know that, boy, you were in Phoenix, bro. That's awesome. I'll take a look at it. Appreciate you dropping the $10 holler, all $10 hollers in the moon shop. But that's really cool of you. I mean, maybe when we do a local event, you bring that, and I mean, I don't need to sign it. I'm not a Kardashian or something. I know that some people don't necessarily want my autograph on something, but I do get asked to do that at an event. So maybe we sign it. We put a 2024 Moon Man prediction on it or something, and then we give it away to somebody at the event or something, which would be awesome. So that boy. I'm gonna send you a link. Actually, also email me your Instagram name, and I want to put you in the Arizona chat group. Maybe you're already in it. You might already be in the Arizona chat group. I got a chat group on IG, so whenever I do local stuff.
DW.
What?
DW just dropped 50 more.
Alert. Panic mode initiated.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Unbelievable, and I'm on the clock, but I don't care because I gotta get up and toss some bling bling around. I can't believe DW he's just going wild.
120 gifts tonight so far.
He's just going wild in the chat. I really got screwed at tight end because I waited too long. I'm gonna go Taysom Hill, I guess. So my team, I usually do this as the live stream goes along. I usually start kind of losing track and maybe not drafting quite as sharply because I'm trying to man phone lines and all that. No excuses. It is what it is. But Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, same bye week. But I don't care because it's weeklies. Pollard, Breece Hall, Javonte, Kamara, Tyler Algier, Amon-Ra St. Brown, JSN, Jamison Williams, Zay Jones, and Taysom Hill. The reason I love this squad so much is because DW, you're a monster, by the way. Thank you so much. The reason I love this squad so much is because I don't need everybody to fire off every week. I just need 1 week for all these guys to come together for a chance at that 20K. Anyway, what else we got? Let's see who's on the line. Steve-O, you're live. Steve-O.
Hey, Smitty, what's going on?
What's up, pal?
Just got one question for you. You haven't come out and said this, but this is just, I've noticed this on a few different streams. Why don't you like Addison? I never see you pick Addison. I see you pass on this guy 9.5 out of 10 times. I just want to know why.
I mean, it's not that I don't like him. His ADP is not right for me. But it's not horrible either. It's not like I look at him and I say maybe I'll draft him here, but I just like Pickens more. I like JSN more. I like a lot of those players that are right there a lot more. It doesn't mean that I hate Addison. It just means Addison climbed about 10 or 12 picks too high for me to love his value. I think, look, I don't absolutely love that situation as much as some people. Doesn't mean I don't like it. Doesn't mean it's not a good situation, but I just have some questions about Cousins, and how this team wants to potentially move on from him. And so that just concerns me. Whenever there's almost like your unwanted type of environment, it can affect you. There's a lot of data on Kirk Cousins being bad in this situation and never doing well in this situation. And there's just a lot of reason to believe that maybe, not that he's going to have a bad year, but just maybe it won't be as good as it was last year. And if that's the case, Dalvin Cook's out of the equation. Let's see if Madison stays healthy. There's a lot of mouths to feed. He might not even be the he might be the third option on the team essentially, because you got a really good tight end and the number one, potential wide receiver, or at least number one, number two potential wide receiver in the NFL. And so you got to have Cousins firing off like for sure in order to get the volume there. And you got KJ Osborne listed ahead of him, and you could say, oh, well, you said the same thing about Bijan and it didn't matter. Well, it's a little different. It's a little different because KJ Osborne probably will be ahead of him initially. I'm not saying he won't climb into that spot eventually during the season, but it's just going to be a slow progression for him. You know what I mean? It's not going to be something where I think Addison blows up for X number of weeks in a row and is an absolute monster from the jump. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100% no, and that's a good point you made about Hawkinson too. Personally, I love Hawkinson. I think he's an absolute dog. But no, I appreciate that. That totally makes sense. If there's guys you like more, that's totally fair.
Yeah,
I respect that.
it's never
Appreciate it.
You never hear any Addison hate from me. Like, I'm never saying he's a bust. You'll never hear me say he's a bust. I like him. I like him a lot.
I just noticed you never draft him. Like an
Never.
underdog, you're always passing on him. So that's why I wanted to ask.
Yeah,
that's all.
no, I mean, it's a good
Appreciate
question.
you,
It's a good question. I rarely ever take him. And it's not that I don't like him. I just rarely ever take him. There's too many players I like a little bit more. So that's
Fair
just
enough.
Smitty's always speeding right past them. Right past them.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it because we're the players that are there. Smitty, should I
got
overdraft
that
players
Rick
like?
Ross song in my head.
Should I overdraft players like Wilson? Bobby wants to know, should he overdraft players like Wilson in round 1, Gibbs in round 2? Don't draft Gibbs in round 2 until he gets there, bro. So, Bobby, no, you shouldn't be. No one should be drafting Gibbs in round 2. He's not going in round 2. Like, wait for that. When he gets there, I'll be the only analyst telling you to smash it when he gets there. But this is impatient of you, Bobby. This is impatient of you. Keepers. There's keepers involved and it changes it, Bobby, I guess. I'd have to know the details, but overdraft, I'm not scared to overdraft anybody. I'm not. If I believe in them, I'm not going to overdraft Christian McCaffrey because I think he could get hurt. I'm not going to overdraft Derrick Henry because I think he could get hurt. Eckler, I think he could get hurt. I'm not going to overdraft Javonte because he is coming back from an ACL tear. I'm not going to overdraft Breece Hall because he's coming back from an ACL tear. But I'm going to have a lot of shares of them because I believe in their recovery. So I'm super into those players. Gibbs, I'll overdraft every single time. Bijan, I'll overdraft every single time if I've got to. Garrett Wilson, St. Brown. I'm all in, bro. I'm all in. And it's okay. If it doesn't work out, guess what? We'll have weapons waiting in the wings. Like we did last year. I mean, we had weapons for days sitting there. Walker, Pierce. We had people dropping Walker. It's crazy, man. It was absolute madness. Like, why people were dropping Walker was beyond me. Let's see here. I'm really reaching and drawing it. I'm almost timing out, so I just got to take guys. Dynasty round 2 all day. I just took Musgrave way earlier than I needed to, but I was going to time out and I needed a backup tight end, so I just grabbed one because I wasn't happy necessarily with what fell to me. I got Taysom Hill and Luke Musgrave, but I got Amon-Ra, JSN, Jameson Williams, Zay Jones, Curtis Samuel, Tony Pollard, Breece Hall, Javonte Williams, Alvin Kamara, Joe Burrow, and Izzy's dropping a $10 hauler. Appreciate you, Izzy. Izzy says, how do you feel about Hurts and the Slim Reaper stack? Keep up. Phenomenal insight. Thank you, Izzy. I like it a lot if you're getting Hurts in round 2 and Devontae Smith in 3. You're not going to get him at 4, but if you got him at 4, that'd be amazing. But to get those guys without touching their first round pick, then I'm okay with it. But you can't take Devontae Smith in round 2. It's too early. Just like T. Higgins is too early in round 2. That's how I feel about those guys. But I do love them. I guess I find myself taking Ridley before Devontae Smith. I find myself taking Gibbs before I take Devontae Smith. So Devontae Smith isn't like a third round lock to me. You know what I'm saying? Jason says I sniped Musgrave from him. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't know. I had to because I don't have a good tight end. Like, I like Taysom Hill, especially in weeklies because he could have that 40-point game. And he really in weeklies could be a league winner. But I don't want him to be my sole tight end every week because I might have the best blow-up week ever and Taysom Hill drops a dud and I lose it because I have no tight end. So I had to take somebody, and I like Musgrave a lot. Travis likes Pierce. Travis is on the line here. Travis, talk about Pierce. Go ahead. I like him a lot, too. He's catching balls, too, in practice.
Yeah, I mean, pretty big guy. He looks good as a rookie, and I mean, since he's young, he probably him and was it Josh Downs? Those younger guys probably work out well with Richardson because they're all coming in at the same time. He's got a little bit of a head start, but big guy. He goes down the sidelines well and gets the ball, and he can do a few different things. So, I thought he showed up pretty good last year, especially considering the quarterback play wasn't all that great.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. You took Burrow from me too, says Jason. Sorry, Jason. Go ahead. Who was talking? Was that Roger or Steve-O?
I was watching Pierce's combine with Algier, and they're kind of the same guy. It was like 4'6". I mean, I think he could be a 1,000-yard rusher, but I don't see the explosion though. The 30-yard runs.
The guy in the chat that I was answering was talking about Alec Pierce.
Oh, Alec Pierce.
I think it was. The test was talking about Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I thought I first thought you were talking about Damian Pierce, but let me step in and defend Damian because I love Damian Pierce. I think in 6th round he's a fantastic pick. Damian Pierce is catching passes. They didn't give it. You got to remember, rookie running backs don't get as involved in the PPR game often. And Bijan's going to be different. Gibbs is going to be different. Partly because they're different players than everybody else. They're just special. But secondly, the offenses need them to. And so they're going to be fast-tracked along and become very, very potent PPR, immediate PPR threats and monsters, and they're going to change the game. Gibbs and Bijan are going to change the running back landscape. And you got all these people complaining about how running backs are underpaid, and they are, but the market's the market. And you can't force a team until the contracts are shortened. You can't force a team to pay for an RB. But what you can do is, as an RB, get drafted in the top 12, get drafted in the top 10. Both Gibbs and Bijan are top 12 overall picks. One is a top 10 overall pick. And they can go out and be absolute weapons for their team. And if they do that, they're going to have a hand in changing the landscape. And so that's how I feel about that. I don't want to hear that the running back is going away. It's dying. It's dead, Smitty. It's not going to be around. It's going to be fine. Now, Damian Pierce, the point you made about Damian Pierce being equal to Algier, I made this point like 8 nights in a row talking about this, that Pierce could be replaced as quickly as Algier was replaced, because if Algier didn't have Bijan come in, we'd have Algier and Pierce neck and neck in the 6th round. People will be talking about Algier as a breakout, and we love Algier. We loved Algier, but he doesn't hold a candle to Bijan. True. It's a whole different level. But in that, if Pierce has a really good season, they won't be looking to replace him. And if they don't replace him and he has a great year, he could be a staple at the running back position and become a very, very consistent, 2-3 turn type of player in fantasy football. But if he gets injured, then he's easily replaceable. So from a dynasty perspective, I'd be worried about him a little bit more than I would in a redraft, because he has to deliver, because he doesn't really hold the draft capital or the, the security, the safe, the cemented in, value that makes him like a guy that cannot be replaced, or, we got Damian Pierce. Look at Algier. So that's kind of how I feel about him. But I love Damian Pierce. Damian Pierce could be a top, he could be a high-end running back too this year. He could be an absolute high-end running back too. Hold on, guys. I'm going to time out here. I just had to grab somebody, and since I need another tight end, because I kind of botched tight end in this draft, I just grabbed a top guy. I'm like, Knox. Maybe he gets 7 touchdowns, or maybe he gets a touchdown the week I need him to do something. So 253 people in here, says Terry Robertson, and only 110 thumbs up, so punch that thumb up button, help the channel out. Appreciate you, Terry, for being in here moderating. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, all my mods. Blackbeard, I don't know if you're in here. Appreciate you all. Let me go over to Negative Ethan real quick. I think we named you Ethan the Negative.
Yeah, what do you think? I was watching. What do you think of Dr. Morse? He was talking about you mentioned Lamar's PCL. He mentioned him and the Kyle Pitts with the PCL injuries. What do you think of Dr. Morse?
Well, I mean, I do my own medical stuff on here, bro, so I don't really concern myself too much with other people. But I'd say that Javonte Lamar's PCL is concerning because he had a 2-3 grade tear. And it was almost so bad that he needed surgery. And I don't know if you know on ACLs and PCLs, but when you have in the back of the knee, you have the PCL and the ACL, and they're both responsible for different things, but similar in concept that the knee doesn't go forward. Like when you have somebody sit on a table to test if their ACL is torn, they sit on a table like this, right? You put your hand behind their knee and you pull forward. And if you have a lot of lax and the joint like goes, then you know the ACL is probably gone. And so those two keep it from going, dropping off the shelf, so to speak. And it keeps it really tight. And if it's tight, then the MCL and the LCL aren't susceptible to being torn. So whenever you have a torn PCL or an ACL, you either tear it like this. Here's the ACL or the PCL. You either tear it like this, but it doesn't snap. And it's so like there's so much lax there that it doesn't do anything. It's like a stretched out rubber band. It has no use whatsoever. So sometimes you have to go in and cut it out and take it out, and then they drill in a new, like in the case of the ACL, they cut out a window in the patellar tendon. They take that piece, they drill a hole, shove it in there, put some screws in there, and tighten it up. And then it's an actual part of your patellar tendon, not a ligament. It has to die and turn into a ligament, essentially, which is part of that recovery process and why you can't go running for a while. You're on crutches because it's dying and turning into a ligament. And so in the case of the PCL, this guy had a torn PCL to the point where it didn't rip. It wasn't a 3. He didn't completely tear it, but it was so bad that it was borderline 2-3. So my question would be, and we're never going to know. Everyone could speculate. They could say he's 100%. 100% of what? The most he could ever be on the grade 2-3 tear? We'll never know. We'll never have scans or MRIs or records in front of us to know that he's got a loose, PCL or a PCL, which makes his knee less stable. So I don't know. No one knows. We can all of us can only guess how healthy he's going to be, and I don't know. I just think I like him a lot. At the right value, but he doesn't seem to be at the right value for me because Fields is better value every time. T-Law's better value every time. Joe Burrow's going after him. Bro.
Yeah, I've got the 4 pick in my 2 QB league, but I've been talking to my cousin Nick. He sounds like he's going to take Justin Jefferson, number 1 overall. So I'm going to get one of the big 3 anyway. But I would have had to make that decision maybe, what is it going to be, Lamar, or is it going to be Justin Fields? And
it's Fields to me. It's Fields to me. It's not a tough decision at all to me. Not at all. Who's failed you 3 years in a row? Lamar Jackson. You're going to really play this game back? You're going to run it back one more time, a 4th time? He's failed 3 years in a row, bro. 3 years in a row.
I had him when he was good.
Okay, but 3 years
when he didn't get hurt.
Look, Jimmy Garoppolo was doing good things in 2019. Does that matter at all?
No.
Like Lamar has failed 3 years in a row. I get it. He got hurt, but that's all part of it. If Javonte gets injured 3 years in a row, we will be saying Javonte failed 3 years in a row. We can't continue to just make excuses because of injuries, but I'm not saying he's a bad pick. I'm just saying Fields is quite arguably, and Lamar could be the number 1 or number 2 quarterback for 6 straight weeks. He really could. I mean, last year, remember him and Andrews started off on fire, and everybody was like clowning on me, saying, Smitty, your avoid Andrews take was really looking good. That aged well. And he was on fire, bro. He was on fire. It was making me look like I could end up going down the wrong track. But if you remember back to my content, it's like he will misstep. He will get injured. He will fail you. He's been doing that. He's not. It's been It's been constant. So
I should have traded Andrews for Godwin, but I got messed over by Najee for Christian McCaffrey. I made a rule not to trade for injured people anymore, and I guess you can't make any rules. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, I hear you, bro. All right, let me go over to Roger again. Roger, what's up?
Not much, Smitty, not much. No, I was just still going over that thing, trying to see what kind of value you like over there in the around the 7th and 8th round. What are some of the guys you are targeting around over there in like some 12-man redrafts?
Yeah, let me drop this Garrett Wilson draft in the live chat, guys. Go ahead and grab a spot in the Garrett Wilson draft. I just pinned the link right now. I would love to have you guys join into that. Garrett Wilson draft starting here shortly. 7th round, you said? Any position?
Probably. I mean, I just feel like wide receivers are just not so deep in those, like, more of the mid rounds. So I guess any wide receivers you like in those mid rounds, I just see it's a little easier to get maybe running back you like around there.
Okay, so let's look at like the 60. Let's look at the players beyond 60. So JSN right above, I want to mention at 57.8. If he fell into the 60s, that would be a phenomenal pick at wide receiver. Trevor Lawrence is a guy I look to at 65 or 70 because I'm also like, I don't know who's here, and this guy's a lock to me. So I want Trevor Lawrence all day long if I'm avoiding. Mike Evans is looking a little better every moment because of Baker looking, I guess, decent right now. And he's also hungry. He also calls himself, a guy that everybody needs to draft. Dameon Pierce, we talked about him. He's a steal at near 70 overall. JK, I'm running for the hills. I don't go near JK right now. Waller's a great pick. He could be the number one wide receiver on his team and pass catcher on his team. George Pickens at 70 is crazy value. That's amazing. Javonte is a steal. Javonte is a steal at 78 overall, bro. That's just insane. Zay Flowers, monster in the making.
Yeah,
Kamara.
I keep trying to target him.
Kamara, Pacheco, Sky Moore.
Dobbs?
I like him a little later, but I like Tony still. I like Evan Ingram. And I cuffed Tony. Jamison Williams and Weekly's Charbonnet. And if I go up a little bit, I think I missed somebody up a little bit. Rashad White could look better if Baker is solid. Jahan Dotson, like those are all absolute smashes, bro. Just complete smashes. Like you can do so much damage from that territory. Like I said earlier to somebody today and the day before and the day before and the day before probably, is that, when you're sitting there at 5-6 overall, let's say Bijan was gone, because Bijan's an easy. The reason I don't trade out of 5, 6, 7, 8 overall a lot of the time is because Bijan's there. He's always there. I'm on the clock here. Let me take Jamar Chase because I don't need to take Bijan. I take Bijan anytime I've got a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pick. So I'm going to take Chase every chance I get when I have a 1 or a 2 overall pick to get that variety going. What was I saying?
You like picking in the 5th, 6th.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Don't like trading away from there.
Yeah, so if I don't get Bijan, let's say I might pick 7 and I don't get him, I'd rather trade down, or even if, let's say I have the pick 5 and I could get Bijan, I would trade Bijan away for a 2nd and 4th round pick in a redraft, because you're going to give me, even if you gave me a 3rd, a 5th, and a 6th, give me a 3rd, a 5th, and a 6th for the number 5 overall, number 4 overall, number 3 overall. Let's even call it the number 1 overall. Let's say you got the number 1 overall pick. Someone gives you a 2nd, a 5, and a 6. Is as hard as it is to like get rid of that JJ or Chase or Bijan or Christian McCaffrey or whoever you want, you're getting in the 2nd round, in the 3rd round. So you get a 2nd, 4th, and a 5th. I said. You're getting, let's call it a 3rd. No, we call it a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th. Let's call it a 3rd, 4th, and 5th, or a 3rd, 4th, and 6th. You're getting Gibbs and you're getting Fields and you're probably getting Javonte, or you're probably getting Dotson, or you're probably getting Pickens, or you're probably getting somebody. Those are 3 really good players. I'll take Gibbs and Fields over one player all day long. All day long, bro.
Fields of Locust.
This is a Garrett Wilson slow draft. For anybody that doesn't know, hang tight, callers. This is what we're doing with these. These are not a part of the big money tournaments. If you win any individual Garrett Wilson draft, you're winning $20. It's a $3 entry. So you could accumulate a lot of $20 victories if you do all these Garrett Wilson drafts. I think this is like Garrett Wilson draft number like 438 or something like that. And so whoever wins the Garrett Wilson drafts will get an autographed Garrett Wilson jersey that I got right up here. I've shown it several times. I'll show it right here in the video. This is how it works. We're probably gonna do like 40 or 50 of them total. And while your odds are, I don't want to say your odds are like not super easy to get it, but it's fun and competitive. You still are going to have the shot to win $20 in each one of the drafts that we do if you win that draft. And I'm going to let someone co-host the show if they win it, et cetera, et cetera. So here's a little video on it. Hang tight, callers. Hang tight real quick. It's time to give away a signed Garrett Wilson jersey. I think so. If you want a chance to win this beauty right here, Garrett Wilson autographed jersey.
Smitty, that's mine. What do I gotta do to win it? Tell me now.
First, I'm going to say Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Second, I'm going to say starting after the NFL draft, we will be doing private drafts mostly on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays around midnight to 12:30 a.m. Eastern. And every time I drop a private draft link, aka Battle of the Moon Men is what we call this tournament. Every time I drop a private draft link, said draft link will be kept track of. Your boy Smitty will have the boys at Underdog keeping track of every league that I give them a link for. It is changed from week 14 to week 17. So at week 17's end, whoever scores the most points out of all 38 or 40 of those drafts, there's no like combining leagues, or it's just who's the highest scoring team at week 17's end on the whole season is going to win the Garrett Wilson jersey, on top of a couple other things that I'm throwing into it. So that's what we're doing right here, the slow Garrett Wilson draft. Let me hit the phone lines real quick. We might cycle through. We got 250 people in here. Marsman Rockout gets to jump straight to the front of the line because he's a Marsman, and he's got his Marsman card out, and he says, Smitty, let me in. What's up, Marsman Rockout?
You want to hear my terrible team?
Let's hear your terrible team.
All right. Quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, Sam Howell. Running back, Gibbs, Aaron Jones, Madison, Pacheco, Herbert, and Deuce Vaughn.
Nice.
And then wide receiver, Jefferson, Javonte Smith, Dotson, Rasheed Rice, Tank Dell, Phelan, and Hyatt. And then
nice
tight end, Moof and Woods.
Nice job, Rockout. Rockout, what do you think? Oh, so I haven't really talked about Walker too much in Javonte. I did talk about Walker a little bit, but the reason I have these guys on screen here, and we haven't even really got into it, is that both these gentlemen, like we're seeing the values increase of Fields, like we're seeing the values increase of Pickens and Dotson, and unfortunate increases at the wrong time if some of you haven't drafted yet. Make sure you get your shares of Javonte and Walker before they get a chance to do what these other guys are doing. Because if they go out and have like a nice little run like Swift did, it's all that is needed for Walker to climb up into round 3. So right now he's in round 5 because he's still got the groin injury, even though he's back at practice. People are still very concerned. Look, Joe Burrow is running on the sidelines and throwing 50-yard missiles down the field, according to numerous reports, and people are still skeptical that he could re-tear his calf and that it's not 100%, tested yet. And it isn't really. There is a small chance that there could still be a problem, right? DW, thanks again for all you did, pal. Those 50 memberships are still flying through here. Thank you so much. DW, you're absolutely a monster, a marvel, a legend. There needs to be a sculpture made out in front of my home of DW, just right in front of my driveway. I should have a sculpture of this man. So I appreciate you. But my point is, once Javonte gets out onto the field and has some big explosive tackle breaking monster run like he's used to doing, because he's one of the best tackle-breaking running backs in the National Football League, and was the best tackle-breaking running back in college football his final year in college.
Yep.
He goes out and shakes and bakes 4 or 5 guys and breaks off. Somebody throws him to the ground, and it looks like Derrick Henry out there. He's going to vault into round 4 or 5. Right now he's like in 5.5, 6.5, and Walker's in 5, sometimes late 4. Both these guys are going to climb at least one round if they go out and have a big day. Bleacher Report says Burrow's ready. Well, we know that already, Danny. We've been talking about that all weekend, I suppose. But yeah, Burrow is out there throwing 50-yard missiles. Week 1's not in question at all. So get your Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet shares together. And I'm almost on the clock in this slow Garrett Wilson draft. I think we got some more news that I hadn't got to yet. Joe Burrow, we talked about this. He's been progressing as expected. This one right here is the Anthony Richardson going 7 of 12, 67 yards and 1 interception. Kind of not a huge debut. James Cook rushed 20 yards and 1 touchdown, which was nice to see. And maybe there is some value there. It's hard for me to buy in and trust him, but there certainly could be some value. And Kenneth Walker, again, this is that report here that he is returned to individual drills on Saturday, which was an upgrade from him being, back at practice. Now he's in individual drills and he's doing good things. So get ready for Walker to regain a lot of his glory. I think that was all the news. Jerry Jeudy caught a touchdown pass, which was nice to see. Russell Wilson had the touchdown throw. And, if I had to say, I still don't know that I buy into Jerry Jeudy's 4th round value at all. But do I think Jeudy could have a good year and maybe change my tune? There were 2 players that I said were going to maybe have a shot to change my tune. And I have no problem admitting when I'm wrong and I need to change directions, because I work for you and my job is not to dig my heels in. I'm not saying Baker's got a long way to go, but Baker having such a good debut and me liking Mike Evans and Rachaad White from a talent perspective does excite me a little bit, that maybe they're not going to be wasted away in Tampa Bay after all. We'll have to see. I got to give Baker more time than one preseason game, but I'm starting to feel a little bit more excited about maybe that there's some fantasy values that could actually be okay in Tampa. The other one that concerns me based on where people are taking is Jeudy. Judy's going way too high, but is there a possibility that Jeudy is like 5th round worthy? Then yes, I think there certainly is, but he's too early in round 4. Garrett Wilson draft. Let's go. I don't want to do any sniping here, and I don't want to do any messing with the ADP too much. So I'm going to draft just some regular Joes in here, the guys that are at the top of the ADP or near the top, and I'm just going to draft real smooth here. Let's go ahead and take Derrick Henry. We already got Jamar Chase. Derrick Henry in round 2 is okay. Not in a lot of drafts, but in 1 or 2, I'm okay with it. Let's go ahead and grab. I'm gonna grab Javonte Smith here. I'm going to go that route. I'm going to go Jamar Chase, Javonte Smith, Derrick Henry. This is a Garrett Wilson draft. Let me circle around the phone line again. Marsman Rock Out, appreciate you being here, my guy. Billy from Massachusetts, you've been waiting so patiently. What can I do for you?
I'm a patient man, Smitty. I don't have a ton of service, so can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
You got me? Okay, good.
Yeah, we got you.
All right, so I had a Chiefs question, and obviously we've seen in the past, even when they had Kelsey, their number 1 receiver, was putting up huge numbers. It was Tyreek Hill, he's a stud. But even last year, we saw Juju take a shot in, I think it was week 9 against the Jaguars game, and he got hurt. He kind of sucked after that. But if you look at his numbers the 8 weeks prior to that, he was on pace for 1,200-something yards. So my question is, with Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney going reasonably late, exactly the highest, would it be a dumb idea to take both of them on the same team to kind of guarantee I get the team around the Chiefs? Or would that be stupid?
Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney? Is that what you're saying? Draft Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney together?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a must. It's a must. It's not a dumb idea or a novel idea, or it's a must. You have to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
It's a security move. It's a nice little measure. And while there's still a Rashee Rice possibility here or there, Sky Moore cemented into at least the slot role. And so if Tony went down again, Sky Moore's the guy that's going to benefit. So, yeah, you grab both of them. They're a fantastic wide receiver 3 combo. And you could even scoop up like another like Pickens in some case, depending if you're drafting with grandmas. Pickens will be phenomenal to add to that. And then you don't necessarily need him as your wide receiver 3. Sometimes they can be your wide receiver 4. And Michael caved and used the Smitty code, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. That link is pinned in the live chat. And definitely you want to take advantage of that because that's phenomenal. If you drop $50, they'll give you $50. You drop 100, they'll give you 100. Up to $100 on your first deposit. It must be your first deposit, but they will match up to $100. And so you can try out these drafts with us. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you doing that. But yeah, Kadarius Toney, great pick.
Smitty, for the river. Don't take more as well. Put it all on Tony. You don't need the ferry.
Why? Why would I not want to take the combo? If I'm going to draft one, you got to draft the other. But
go with the liability insurance.
But thank you for trying to fantasy explain me there, Ethan. Appreciate you. Travis, what else you got?
Yeah, that was actually Billy who had that question.
Oh, Billy.
Yeah, no.
Well, no. I was asking Travis what else he had, but that's okay, Billy. Go ahead. Just jump right back in.
Oh, okay. No, my bad. That was actually just my only question. I just thought I thought about that earlier. I was like, I wonder if Tony and Moore would be a decent idea. I got to call Smitty and see his opinion.
Yeah,
sounds like you're a fan of that idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Hell yeah.
Especially if you're in like if you're in a KC build in an underdog, like you draft Mahomes, that's great. You get Pacheco. I love doing the KC build, especially if you can compile a whole lot of other players. Roger just left. I was gonna say Roger next. Roger, call in if you still have more. Oh my man, I haven't spoke to this man. He hasn't called in forever. Where have you been, Jocelyn? What's Jocelyn surprise?
Maybe.
Where have you been?
Okay, so I moved from Miami to South Carolina 3 months ago. So
they got internet there.
In order.
They got internet there, bro.
Huh?
They got internet there, right? I don't understand.
They got internet, but hey, listen, man, I was getting my life together here, man.
But when your life is in chaos and shambles, this is when the show's there for you the most, bro. When you're like, I need to de-stress, I need to listen to something. I mean, I should have been in your earbud, bro, but that's okay. Jocelyn, you're here now. I'm excited to see you back. As soon as I saw that name, I said, oh my God, this guy's been gone for forever. Jocelyn, what is up? What's going on other than that? Who you liking this preseason so far? What players on your mind? Hit me with it.
Okay, so what do you? Okay, I know that you love Jamar Gibbs, right?
Jameer.
What do you think about? But what do you think about like David Montgomery getting drafted in like the 5th or 6th round? Because I mean, I love Gibbs too. Don't get me wrong, but I think that Montgomery is going to play that red zone goal line back. So do you think that it's probably best to maybe draft Gibbs around round 3 and then scoop up David Montgomery probably in the 5th or 6th round just in case if Gibbs gets hurt or I mean, what do you think about that?
I think that, and again, welcome back and definitely go watch my best 4 picks of fantasy football 2023. It's on my YouTube channel. It's on its own.
I did.
Okay.
Hey, Smitty, listen. I know it's Burrow, Fields, Walker. I know.
No, I'm not saying I'm not going to answer your question. I was just saying that might also kind of open the door to some of the topics I might not hit on or the conversation pieces here. But essentially, in my mind, bro, this is like a wide receiver / running back in Gibbs. I don't think Monty's relevant. I don't think it has anything to do with him. I mean, if Detroit runs the ball 450 times, let's say, how many carries can Jahmyr Gibbs even get? Like we'd be panicked if he got like 200 because he's going to be given so much receiving work. This is a guy that's going to be a hybrid. So if he's getting under well under half of the 450 carries, under 200. There's so much room for another player. In fact, it's required. And so he's not stealing anything away. Jahmyr Gibbs is getting a lot of the PPR work. I'm just not concerned at all. There might be a time where you feel like Monty took away a touchdown, but the opportunities are endless, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to get so many targets. It doesn't matter. They're kind of unconnected in a way. Now, do I want to cuff them? Not really. Not really, bro. I have no concern or desire to cuff them, because this is like when Kareem Hunt was at his highest value when he was with Nick Chubb, and if you cuffed him, you were like handicapping your team. You know, it didn't even really help you. Like, you couldn't even really use the both of them at the same time. You could maybe in this situation, but I'd much rather just go get a whole nother player that I love a lot, like Justin Fields, than go Monty. But you're not going to get that anymore, because Fields, who was a 5th rounder, is now a 3rd rounder after tonight. But like, that's the kind of stuff I've been doing all offseason, preaching all offseason. Get Fields in 5. Don't get Monty in 5. Get Jahmyr Gibbs in 3. Get Fields in 5, and who cares? You're banking on Gibbs anyway. This is not something that's like, okay, he's going to come in and I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but it certainly, I think, handicaps your team to be taking 2 players from the same team that aren't really, you know, if it was like a wide receiver and a running back in a potent offense like Pacheco and Kadarius Toney, I don't mind that at all. But when you're talking about, you know, they could rotate in terms of who has the bigger game, and so like your team's just going to be hampered when you could go pick a guy that's going to pop off at, you know, the same time Gibbs is popping off. But it's a really good question, but he's not a cuff to me. They're 2 independent players that have 2 different independent roles, and there's so much volume to go around. Monty could have 1,100 yards and 7 touchdowns really easily in 2023. So he's got decent standalone value, even if you don't own Gibbs. But I don't know. I just drafted other players. That's all it comes down to, really.
Right. Yeah, no. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Gibbs in the 3rd, but like, you know, I know Detroit likes to run the ball a lot. So, you know, then I was just thinking that, okay, well, maybe, you know, like I think that, in my opinion, I think that, you know, that the Lions are going to use Gibbs more, you know, out like a wide out type back, and then, you know, probably like use, you know, like Monty as like their in between runner. So you know, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But all right, man. Yeah, man. And like I said, Smitty, man, even though I did move to South Carolina, like I do listen to you almost every single day, man.
Oh,
you know, I just
that's what I like to hear.
I literally just got home and I was listening to you as I was driving. So then I said to myself, all right, man, he's live now. Let me see if I can get a phone call.
Glad to hear from you, man. I was just busting your balls. I don't expect everybody to hang on, you know, night and day, 365 days a year. People take breaks from football all the time. But yours was a very long break, so I was nice to see you pop up. And that's all I was just joking with you. But glad to have you back. Make sure you call in more often, and thank you for listening. And spread the word to your new pals in your new state. Tell them all about the show, pal.
I will, man. All right.
All right, later,
Josh.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm going to cycle everybody out the phone line. Let me start off with Ian. Ian, you want to be negative about one final thing tonight?
Oh, are you able to talk me into so my 2 QB league with family? It's Wisconsin. They're going to be at Homer League, want Watson, and now Judy's going. Talk me into Drake London. Why is he safe around that area? He's going to drop. I just can feel it. He's one of the guys that's going to drop. And why do you think he's still going to get a good target share, even with Pitts and the 50% rushing sometimes?
Yeah, you know, this is not me backing off of my Drake London takes, or because he is such a talent. He's a top 10 wide receiver talent-wise. He really, really is. And I think he could take a huge step forward, and he's a moon man. But, like, can I be honest for a second? This is just my honesty here, and letting you guys know as a human being, as a regular drafter. I'm an owner in drafts. I have a buddy league that I've had for over 20 years. And so I am also, when I'm on the clock, wavering. I'm not just some person that just knows exactly what I want to do every single time, like some people think of me. I'm literally wavering. I have a buddy that, my long time buddy. I'll text him, be like, hey, who should I take here? We're all like that. We all need that. That's why I started this channel. That's why I started in the business 20 plus years ago. That's why I created the trade calculator, which I believe was the first trade calculator in the fantasy football industry in 2003, because I was searching for things that weren't out there, and I wanted it to be out there so badly. That's why I got into this space. I'm so passionate about it. When I was on the clock, out of all honesty, I was on the clock. I had Fields already. I drafted Fields, and I swung back around, and this is a slow draft. We're like in round 7 right now. Very slow. Everybody's like asleep, and it's painfully slow. But when I was on the clock, I was wavering between DJ Moore and London, and it's redrafts. There's no stacking advantage, but you still like it. It's fun. And I was wavering between DJ Moore and London. It was right before the game when this pick was going on. I picked London. I said, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is here and take London. And it wasn't a mistake. I still love it. It looks great on paper, and I'm really excited about him. But then that game, that went down, and Fields threw that touchdown pass to him. And I got to admit, I feel like DJ Moore is right there. I feel like DJ Moore, you could argue, could have a better season than London. And I think people are just completely underestimating how good the rapport is between Fields and DJ Moore. They're reportedly best friends. They got the bunk beds set up. They've been doing karate in the garage all off season. They're ready to rumble. They're ready to rumble, and clearly they have rapport. And clearly DJ Moore is good enough to be a low end wide receiver 1 in fantasy, really, but a guy that you're going to count on in draft to be a potential high-end wide receiver 2. You don't have to pay high-end or low-end wide receiver 1 value. So to answer your question, Drake London's very fun. He's very exciting. He's very talented. Ritter made him, put him on pace for about 1,200 to 1,300 yards, if I remember correctly, at the end of the season when they got going together. They had no time to work together. Ritter wasn't prepared as a starter. He finally gets an offseason to prepare as a starter. Kyle Pitts wasn't there to help distract defenders. I think Kyle Pitts is the one that suffers the most, if anybody does, because the offense maybe doesn't throw enough. If that's the case, then it will be Kyle Pitts that doesn't eat as much. I think London's going to have to. And so I'm excited about London still. He's a moon man. Part of me does want DJ Moore on the moon man list. Part of me feels like DJ Moore and London are interchangeable at this point. And that's just my honesty here. That's just me telling you how I really, really feel when I was on the clock. And so it has me questioning, not London, but it has me questioning whether DJ Moore is equally as fitting to be on the Moonman list, to be honest with you. I almost feel like if London's on there, DJ Moore has to be. And I almost feel like if I could go back, I probably would take DJ Moore over London. And I don't know.
Higher on Moore.
I love both of them. What?
So are you you're a little higher on Moore now than you were, a few weeks ago?
I mean, clearly, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
wasn't down on him. I wasn't down
Right.
on him. I repeatedly said 1,200, 1,300 yard season, 7 to 9 touchdowns, totally possible. 80 plus to 80 to 90 receptions. That is a high end wide receiver too. I just said be careful not to take him, any higher than round 6 right now, or round 5.5 right now. But I mean, top of round 5, he doesn't feel crazy.
Right.
So, but London, bro, if DJ Moore's gone, London's fantastic. Don't even hesitate, on London. He's going to be good. Yeah. I like Watson more. I like JSN quietly as much as London once he gets on his horse. But the problem is, how long could that take? That's why he's a midseason monster.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Smith. I had more 2 years ago. That's why I'm ready to move on and, that kind of try new things. But, yeah, keep up the good work. You and Mark Dice, you guys do this YouTube channel stuff right. So, yeah.
All right, appreciate you. Later. All right.
Can I just jump in?
Why is he always coming in and try and name drop people? Ethan's always doing it. Ethan, you do that again, you're gone from the phone line. Why does he do that? He always comes. Let me just tell you 3 guys I really like that are doing YouTube channels with you, Smitty. Let me just come in here and plug them for you. One more time, Ethan, and I'm taking your number off the phone line speed dial. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, Reese Mark Dice isn't another fantasy football guy.
No,
he's a political dude or something.
Oh,
but,
okay.
No, so I was just gonna ask.
I don't know. I don't follow other people. I don't have time. So Ethan, we'll give you. We're still giving you the one chance, but I'll take away the screaming at you. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, he just likes to list off guys. He
likes to name drop. He's like, yeah, you and.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask. So with that situation, you're not any lower on London. It's just that with the rapport with Fields and seeing as they've progressed and nothing but good news coming out of camp, it's just kind of pulled up more just a little bit with that Fields connection.
Yeah, I guess that's the perfect way to put it. It's like London hasn't moved an inch for me. The problem is that when you have so many marbles in a glass jar, you throw in a big another marble in there, it moves them around. It's not that the marbles are any
sifts around.
Yeah, it's not like London's done anything that concerned me. It's just that DJ Moore's squeezing in there and it's moving everybody around a little bit. And so if DJ Moore, I don't even know if he climbed above him, to be honest. Like if I'm back on the clock, I'm still wavering. I'm not looking at London and going, oh, I'm taking DJ Moore for sure now. I'm just saying I wavered really hardcore on it before the game started. And then boom. Andre says, what does Smitty think of Jahan Dotson? What do you think? Right here. Take a look. Take a look, pal.
The Moon Men, dropping loads in outer space.
This is what I think of Jahan Dotson. Good question, though. Especially if you're new.
Space Monsters.
Not saying you're new. I'm just saying if you are new, Jahan Dotson to the moon. What, Travis?
No, I was just gonna, so it's just like the natural progression everyone goes through every off season. Like we know about all we can know about London, unless he starts to just go nuts in the preseason. But
yeah, I think
and then guys like Moore and JSN, they kind of move up a little bit. And
I think what we got to remind ourselves, even when we waver on London, even a little bit, is that okay? How many wide receivers do really well with bad quarterback play? A lot. And is this an overly crowded wide receiver room? It's not. Does it have Pitts and Bijan? Yeah, but Pitts and Bijan are only going to take so much of the wide receiver target share away because they can't take all of it. They can't even take 50% of it. So the wide receivers got to stretch the field. There's got to be a lot of diversity in the play calls and the direction that Ritter takes. Footballs. You can't just throw Bijan constantly. You can't just throw to Pitts constantly. So given that there's not a whole lot of threat to London's number one wide receiver carved out workload, he's safe. He's super safe. He's going to get a bunch of work. We've seen wide receivers thrive with horrible quarterback play before, and I'm not even calling them horrible. I'm just saying in everybody's worst case scenario, he's not going to miss any target share because of Pitts and Bijan. Pitts could, but the reason Pitts could is not so much because of the other players involved as much as we've seen Arthur Smith phase him out, and so when everybody says that ridiculous phrase and angles it toward Bijan where Arthur Smith's like, I don't care about fantasy, and people are like, get Pitts the ball, and he didn't. Everyone's like, oh, well, Kyle Bijan's a risk now because this guy doesn't like fantasy. Oh yeah, then why did they literally lead the league in rushing attempts last year and are quite arguably the number one overall rushing team in the National Football League? 559 attempts was first. 27-18 was third in yardage in the second column, and yards per carry fourth, touchdowns top 10. Like, get out of here with this whole like that Arthur Smith's gonna ruin Bijan's chances because he hates fantasy football. He loves running the football, so he loves fantasy football. He just doesn't know it. He just doesn't like throwing to his tight end, which is why Kyle Pitts is easily the most likely odd man out if, let's say, Ritter isn't really impressive, not top 10 quarterback impressive, but like, can he play like Danny Dimes once in a while? Can he play like Gino once in a while?
Yeah. And then, well, like that boy said in the chat, and I think this is kind of the whole thing, like you're getting at with London too. He says, I don't know, someone said, oh, Ritter sucks, or I don't know, but he said, how do we know Ritter will suck, though? And the whole thing is that, we saw some of what Ritter did, and we think he's, decent enough, but we don't know, and that'll determine which way London goes, whether he's, just that really good wide receiver with a crappy quarterback or an okay quarterback, or if Ritter's, solid, then like you said, London now is, he's a top 10 talent. He's so big and so talented that he could really take off.
Yeah. This is that boy's, I guess, cutout that he was talking about. He wanted to maybe donate to the show, and that's really cool of him. Maybe we do some sort of giveaway with this at a local, Arizona live stream or something like that, and you can bring it, and someone wants it on autograph, we'll leave it on autograph, because like I said, I don't consider myself a necessarily somebody that everybody wants the autograph on something. Some people ask for it, but whatever, we could give this away at the the Lou Molinati's live stream, which is a sponsor sometimes of mine, and we do a live stream there. So thank you, that boy. Appreciate you, and hang tight on that one, and we'll figure that out. And appreciate you, and I'll get your I think you emailed me your Instagram name, right? So I'm going to add you to that group so I can DM you, unless you're already a part of it. All right, Travis. Anything else, bro?
The only other thing I was going to ask was, I know the Chargers kind of ran all over the Rams. I think it was today, but Elijah Dotson, he was an undrafted guy, but he looked pretty good. And Spiller or Kelly haven't really grabbed that number 2 role in the past years. So I wasn't sure if you had anything to say about Dotson.
I'm definitely keeping an eye on that. So like, I don't know what
someone to watch.
Yeah, I don't know what to think yet. But I wanted to also tell you, because you always hear me rip on Mac Jones, you always hear me rip on the Patriots and Bill Belichick, even though I love Bill Belichick, and again, as I tell you, Travis, if you would have brought in Hopkins and you would have brought in Lamar, you would have been a potentially a Super Bowl contending team. So there's pieces there.
I agree with you on that.
But I got to tell you, man, as much as I can't stand Mac Jones, not as a person, I don't hate anybody as a person, but Mac Jones is not the real deal to me. He's not. I totally just think that there's so much about him. We talked about it the other night, but Malik Cunningham looks really interesting, and his college, stat lines are amazing. His ability to scramble, like, this is an elusive guy, and we got excited about Malik Willis, which is why I brought him up. We got excited about other scrambling quarterbacks before that. If they don't have the ability to throw, it's very easy to get caught up in the fact that they're very good on the ground. But he is a potential, not lock, not any sort of certainty, but a potential gem that Bill Belichick might have. And he has had a running quarterback before in Cam Newton, so this is not like ambiguous territory for him, or territory he's never been involved in. I really think if there is a shot for your team to surprise, at least for the future, and just kind of like maybe like show some flashes of what the future could be, it's Malik Cunningham. I think that's your only shot, but it's exciting, bro. I'd be excited if I was you.
Oh, I am. I like him in that new rule where the teams can carry that extra quarterback is going to kind of save that situation, because they won't have to worry about carrying a third quarterback or because Belichick's always funny about that. So he likes carrying a third guy, but then the past few years he hasn't at times either. So he's definitely, obviously they're going to keep him because of the talent he shows. But
hey, real quickly, I just want to ask a question to the general audience, and then to you both, Rockout and Travis. I know you guys all you're working individuals, and I feel bad that I in some ways moved my show to 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. Eastern. But I think that time is working well for about 90% of people, to be honest with you. Because for me, it was 4 o'clock Arizona time, which eventually changed to 5 for me in October. because Arizona's really weird. We don't participate in daylight savings, but we do flip into another time zone, even though we're not changing. Our time just matches a different time zone. So it was a really awkward time for me because I was basing it off 7 p.m. Eastern. But 8 p.m. Eastern, I think, has been a huge success so far. So if everybody could, in the chat, tell me whether they've enjoyed the change or not. And then second of all, it's affected the graveyard stream because I have to have breathing room between the two shows. A, to eat and spend time with family. But B, I don't want the live streams to be like back to back within like an hour and a half. So I've had to move the graveyard stream to about 1 a.m. I have been late, like I sometimes am. But is 1 a.m. Eastern, it seems like the numbers are the same, if not better, but I can't tell because we're getting more busy. So it's hard to totally know. But if everybody can let me know how they enjoy the 8 p.m. show and how the 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. show is affecting them. Is it really harder to get in here, or are people night owls? That I collected people in this time frame anyway, though, from the beginning. Like, this is where, when I first started the YouTube channel, we went live at 10 p.m., so 1 a.m. Eastern. So this is where we created the Graveyard Crew from, is the 1 a.m. time slot anyway. I just moved it forward over the years, and so I'm just curious to know what anybody thinks. And on top of that, like, that's my Eastern group only, my Eastern time. Like, if you're in California, if you're in Arizona, if you're in other parts of the west side of the US, then like you're going live at 10 p.m. like I am. I'm going live at 10 p.m. It's not a big deal to me at all. I know some people in the East Coast is 1, but if everybody could tell me how the 1 a.m. has been hurting people, like in terms of like going to work. Travis, how has it affected you, or what have you noticed?
I mean, I'm a night owl, so it doesn't affect me that much. I think last week I fell asleep a couple times, but it's no big deal. I mean, the only people that'll miss that is like people who have to work early. But you're live so much, it's not like they're gonna miss it, and then they could watch it in the morning or something. And
that's true.
I was gonna say though that I like the 8 p.m. Selfishly on the East Coast.
Thank you,
because
nasty.
By that time I can get dinner with the family, finish whatever I have to do for the day, and just
Thank
be
you, Blackbeard.
settled for the night. You know what I mean? And just chill.
Yeah,
and,
golf.
It actually.
Golf. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead. What?
No, I was just saying thank you to people while you're talking. Thank you, golf. Go ahead.
And the only other thing I was going to say was that I don't know how you feel about it, but I would think for you it might be a little better too, but besides what you just said, but also because like I've noticed like you've kind of been able to keep it at like a 2-hour show, which almost that, like you said, so you can get a little time before the late one, so it's a little bit more structured in that sense.
We'll see how that.
I wasn't complaining.
Yeah,
I wasn't complaining if it went like longer, but
we'll see how that.
You can almost plan. Okay, 8 to 10, give or take.
We'll see how that goes though, as we get into September, because in September, October, November, if you remember,
right,
sometimes we'd have to go 3 and 4 hours because there'd be so many questions, and so we'll see what happens. I don't know how this is going to morph into the, like, when we're Thursday night doing a show and we got to go 3-4 hours. That would be, so it would be, I go live at 10 p.m. It would be 5, let's see here, 5, so 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I mean, there could be a time where I have literally an hour in between if we go really long on but that's okay. I mean, that's the season. It's part of it. It's fun, but
you could. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do at all. If you had to go like really late or something, like you said, just because there's so much going on once you get into the football season, if you're like banging up against that, 1 hour between shows and stuff. You could always do like a shorter dynasty show for the graveyard and start a draft and, not be, just at the end of the original show, or, like in other words, I don't think you're going to lose any viewers if you kind of,
I mean, worst case scenario,
and work it.
Worst case scenario, I mean, not everybody, no offense to my East Coast people, but not everybody's East Coast. So if I go live at 11 p.m. my time, which is 2 a.m. Eastern, some night when I go 4 hours on the 8 p.m. show, I'm still going to go live. It just might not be
Right.
catching a lot of the East Coast guys as much. But, you know, I still have West Coast guys that are like, hey, it's 11 p.m. You know, it's not that late.
Right.
Like, where's Smitty? So, like, I'll still probably go live. Don't forget the Marsman draft. Oh, yeah.
It goes both ways too, though, because on the West Coast, like for the earlier show, you might have some people that, you know, might miss a little bit of the beginning or be driving home from work or something. So, you're never going to nail it perfect,
You know,
because it's different time zones.
You know what's great though is so this is the schedule Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday. That's the show. That's locked in. The graveyard shows are 95% locked in. This is if I'm super exhausted from a long 8 p.m. show, I'm live whenever news breaks. Let's say during the day someone gets injured, and I'm like just doing tons of live streaming up until this point. I could, on occasion, like I did last night, cancel a graveyard show. Like these are subject to be canceled on rare occasions, especially during the season. Just for me to like rest up because I've already live streamed 6 hours in one day or 7 hours in one day or whatever. But what's great about this new schedule that I think I'm going to do this, it's really easy to remember. The 1 a.m. show, which is 10 p.m. West Coast, is going to be basically when football kicks off for the week and when football ends for the week. And so I'll take a break in between. So on Wednesday and Tuesday, when there's no football, I'm going to have those graveyard shifts off, not the Monday through Friday, and not the live when news breaks, but just the graveyard shift. So it's really easy to think about. It's like, okay, Thursday football starts tonight. Okay, Smitty's live graveyard. Friday night, I mean, that's in the middle of start bench, and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. So from the kickoff of the week, Thursday, until the Monday night game, I'm live graveyard, 1 a.m. So it's really easy to remember. And the great part is, so Panic Chamber isn't Tuesdays. Panic Chamber, Panic Chamber might be not a live show. It just might be an upload on Tuesday, because I put content up every day. So that would be like maybe a premiere during the day, premiere during the early evening. But what's going to be probably one of the most popular shows will be this Sunday live stream where we do the waiver wire show. And the waiver wire show is going to be like it was last year, unbelievable in terms of how we do it. I'm going to make it better every single year, every single episode. But we look at, like, this is an example of the I haven't looked at this since we did this pre-week 1 waiver wire show, which I think I need to refresh. I need to do another one. But look at Deuce Vaughn on there. Look at Tank Dell was the number 1 guy. We said that, okay, you know, obviously he's not available in a lot of dynasty leagues by any means, but he might be in some. And this pre-week 1 waiver wire show we did just like over a month ago, maybe month and a half ago, we said the reason for the show is to essentially make you not have to hit the waivers in week 1. So draft some of these guys if you've got room for it. Tank Dell, don't make yourself, scramble to pick him up, or don't be the guy that doesn't draft him in your league. So that's why we did this. But the waiver wire show is going to be pretty awesome, because we'll essentially be looking at it from like this perspective. So I put a player up and I say, what are the odds of this player being the best pickup of the year in 2023? And it's like, oh, this is a 9. This player's a 9 in terms of being the best pickup of the year. An 8. Let's say Tank Dell was out there. This is like Tank Dell's like a 9 at this point. If he was sitting out there, he could be the best pickup of the year. Deuce Vaughn might be a 5 right now, or a 6 potentially. So the waiver wire show is going to be absolutely enjoyable, and you're going to hear this button a lot.
Initiate full load drop.
When people say, how much fab should I drop on so-and-so? It's, initiate full load drop on that. Let me get these. Actually, let me get you both off the line, and I'll jump out of here. It looks like our draft stalled. Travis, I'll see you tomorrow, pal.
Yeah, appreciate it, Smitty. I'll talk to you later.
All right, later. Rock out. Final thoughts?
Bye.
Later, Travis. Thank you for modding. Rock out.
Hello?
Final thoughts?
Yeah, I got a slight idea. It might be confusing for people, but maybe start like the Monday show, like 7:45, like a Monday countdown. But it might be confusing for people.
Yeah, I mean we'll be live at 8 p.m. That's the times scheduling for school for the little ones and like I had to move it, so there's definitely no room.
Yeah, no problem.
Double A dropping 10 gifted memberships in the chat. Ethan's running his mouth here. I don't think Ethan understands what's going on. Tuesday, Wednesday are waiver claim free agency days, Smitty. We need you to work 7 days a week. I just told you, Ethan, the waiver wire show is Sunday night. Like, I'm not wasting time. I'm coming at you Sunday evening with the top pickups of the week. Not to mention, I do daily uploads on days I'm not graveyarding. Not to mention, Ethan, I'm live Monday through Friday every single day, Ethan. Weekday, Monday through Friday. So, and I'm live when news breaks. So, we're talking about just the graveyard shift, pal. We're talking about the graveyard shift. So, I don't know. Get the wax out of your ears. Appreciate you, Ethan, regardless, but I don't know what you're looking at. It's not the same thing everybody else is looking at. Appreciate you, though. Recovery dropping a $5 hauler says, hey, Smitty, got the 10 pick in my full PPR league. I want some Moon Men. Amon-Ra, Pollard to start, or should I go Diggs and Pollard? I'd go Amon-Ra, but that's me. I know a lot of people are going to say Diggs is, are you crazy? You're taking Amon-Ra over Diggs, but I don't know that everybody feels that way. I think a lot of people are starting to come around, especially on this channel. But you can't go wrong with Diggs or Amon-Ra St. Brown. Terry Roberts, love all you do. Love the new times. You're the man. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for moderating as well. And Recovery dropping yet another one. Says also, what do you think about Evan Ingram? I love Evan Ingram. He's definitely a tight end that I think could be inside the top 5 overall at the end of the season. There's some injury concern with him always, but I love Evan Ingram this year. Him and Waller feel like the best values of guys outside the top 5 that can be inside the top 5 of the bigger name guys. So totally think he's an amazing steal, bro. Blackbeard says 280 people in here, 145 thumbs up. Hit that thumb up button on your way out the door, please. Thank you, Double A, for dropping those gifted memberships. Rock out. We'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
All right, see ya.
Later, pal. All right, thank you for calling in, Rock Out. Gifted memberships. We got Double D dropping a 50 WADA gifted memberships tonight, which is absolutely crazy. Double D dropping a 10 gifted memberships. Double A just dropped a 10 gifted memberships. We've got a 20 wad by Double D, a 20 wad by Double D, a 20 wad by Double D. That makes for what, 70, 110, 120 gifted memberships by Double D tonight. He's such a monster in the making. And let me see if there's anybody else that's dropped any. Thank you very much, Double D, for doing that. You're such a hero, giving all these gifted memberships to everybody. If you got a gifted membership tonight from Double D or Double A, both doubles. If you got Double D'd or Double A'd tonight, you thank those gentlemen, okay? Because they were pretty generous to you. You owe them a debt of gratitude. Super chatters tonight. You menaces out there just doing super chat things. I can't thank you enough for everything you guys have done. Trey, thank you for dropping yours. KH3, appreciate you. Dawson, thank you. Clinton dropping that $20 hauler on screen. O'Neill, thank you very, very much. O'Neill, appreciate you very, very much. Cameron, thank you for all that you do and dropping that super chat. Giovanni, what a monster. Double D dropping his $50 hauler. Double D, appreciate everything that you've been doing tonight. You're such an amazing supporter of this channel. Carrie dropping a $1.99. I'm going to get to that one second. Double DW dropping a $20 hauler. Pierce dropping a $2. Slimes, what did Slimes end up saying? Let me follow and see what Slimes was saying. Slime says, Avery, let's see here. Let's see. Want to support the phone line. What's the end date for total winner? I'll drop it then. Oh, I got you. I got you, Slime. Slime wants to be the member. So Slimes, are you still here? I'm sorry, bro. It took me so long to find your other message. But let me know if you're still here, and I'll tell you exactly what you want to know on that. Where are we at? We got Kerry dropping the $1.99. Smitty, you owe us a Christian Watson animation. I do, Kerry. It's really, really good point. Let me put that on my list of to-dos right here. C. Watson, C. Watt animation. Let's do that. Let's do that next. Hopefully I can have that done by tomorrow. Recovery, thank you. Terry Roberts, thank you. Recovery, thank you again. For your double, your near back-to-back super chat. Sick Nasty says, sent you a message about my draft call, brother. Sick Nasty, I'm sorry, I just missed your super chat until just right now. I'm so sorry about that. And Hobbs, did I get to this one? Love the content, agree with you a good percentage of the time, except the take on MC North. Brian Flores made the Dolphins bottom 5 D into a machine. Appreciate you, Hobbs. There's nothing wrong with Miami could definitely turn some heads. It's about Tua staying healthy. So I don't disagree with you that Miami's a head turning team. Izzo, appreciate you dropping that super chat. I think I got everybody. That boy, appreciate you. Chester Fool, appreciate you. Last Action Hero, appreciate you. Thank you guys all for dropping those super chats. Slimes, Last Action Hero, thank you. Let me know, Slimes, if you're still in here, and I can address your question real quickly to you. Hopefully you're still here. So Slimes was asking, how do you sponsor the phone line? What's that all about? Or how do you get to be the guy that sponsors it? What it comes down to is whoever's the top super chatter of the month. Then I immediately change it. So you don't want to wait until the last second, because then you might only have it for a day, because it changes every month. So you want to grab it, right now. You want to grab it right now for the remainder of the month, or
call into the show. Call into the show.
So Mark Cleveland is the top super chatter of $50 in a single live stream. Although Double D's dropping gifted memberships. He's already here. TMT, Double D, and TMT are. Let me fix that. Double D and TMT are the top 2 gifted members of the month, dropping 250 gifted memberships in one live stream each. Double D's breaching that today with his 120, but Double D and TMT are the sponsors of the phone line, and Mark Cleveland at 50. Although Double D did he have over 50 tonight? Let me see if he did. DW. Yes, DW had 70. Yep, DW is the new leading super chatter in a single night. DW was 70. He just knocked Mark Cleveland off. D double U. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch up on all this. So DW is the new phone sponsor on the year with a $70 super chat. Let's press that button one more time and celebrate DW.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
DW, I can't thank you enough, pal. You are the top super chatter of the month in a single live stream with the $70 hauler, which I think somebody may or may not have beat. I'm not sure. But since we started this month, you are the number 1 super chatter and the number 1, tied for the number 1 gifted member with $70. You're a beast, bro. You're an absolute beast.
Let's go, mashed potatoes.
Yeah, buddy.
Let's see that one more time.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Presented by DW with a super chat of $70 and Double D again and TMT with 250 gifted memberships all this month. Your leading super chatter gifted member, Double D. Appreciate you, Double D, for dropping that Double D in the chat all night long. Unbelievable, this guy. Where were we at? We got some more super chatters before I jump off the phone line. Let's get through those real quickly. Thank you all for dropping that. Let me just check Slime real quick, see if Slime's in here. So Slime, yeah, support the phone line. Appreciate you, Slime. Slime to the moon. All right, super chatters that just came rolling in. We got Zach with a $2 hauler says, do I accept a first and second pick for Jordan Addison? Do I accept a first and second? So a first rounder and a second for Jordan Addison. Depends where the pick is, but probably. But if the pick's late, I guess no. So if it's a maybe could be an early pick, I probably would. Terry Roberts says, guys, don't forget the Marsman and Moonman drafts on 8/20 and 8/21. Let's go. Thank you, Terry, for reminding me on that. I'll play that little scene real quickly. We got the Marsman and Moonman drafts coming up. I think this is it right here. Marsman draft is 8/20, which is approaching very quickly. That's 7 days away, right? 8/20 at 8 p.m. And the Moonman draft is 8/21 at 9 p.m. Remember the Marsman and Moonman cards. There's only 12 Marsmen and there are only 12 Moonmen. And these leagues are colliding because the winner of the Marsman League, or the loser, the loser total points at week 17's end drops into the Moonman League, and the winner of the Moonman League infiltrates and breaks into the Marsman League. They don't change cards. You're a Marsman for life. You're a Moonman for life. Different perks I send people throughout the year for having these cards and being part of these. And they're metal. Being a part of this membership. There's only 12 of these out there, really 11 because I'm a Marsman. So there are 11 of these cards. I'm scratching them up like crazy. They're metal. And Moonmen, there are 12 Moonmen. And these drafts are live. We're live streaming them every year. Being a part of this club allows you to be in a live stream draft every single year. And it's going to be fun to watch one guy drop out, one guy drop in. Not out of the leagues, but to switch. And just, you're always going to have these 24 guys in the league. They're never getting kicked out. But you're going to get demoted into the Moonman League if you're the last scoring team. So it's going to be a fun draft. Both these drafts are happening on these two dates right here. This is a Sunday. Let me put that on screen. That might be helpful. This is a Sunday. Let's see here. This is a Sunday, and this over here is a Monday. Just to help with that. So we'll be live streaming those bad boys. Can't wait for you all to see what the Marsmen and Moonmen do with their draft. Let's get back to these final super chats, and then we're going to call it a night. So punch that thumb up button on your way out the door. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Zach, for those super chats. $20 holler by MB. $20 holler. MB, you still here? Sorry it took me so long to get around to this one.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, MB. MB says, Smitty, I need your guidance. Pick one and rank, please. Mike, Thomas, Dotson, Tony, Zay Flowers, JSN. Very, very. So let's call it redraft. I'm going to say, give me Dotson. If it's Dynasty, I might even say Dotson, but Flowers gets into this mix. I know Mike Williams or Mike Thomas. A lot of people like Mike Thomas. I don't. I love Tony, but I don't know that I love Tony over Dotson. I'm taking Dotson. Easy call for me. Pick one, rank these. Pick one and rank. Okay, yeah. So Dotson's my pick, and that's my order. Dotson. JSN's tough though. If you don't need the player right away, I actually might lean JSN in redraft. In Dynasty, I probably lean JSN over Dotson in Dynasty. In redraft, if you need the player right away, then I probably go Dotson, and I really like him. But maybe I lean JSN if this is a midseason, because he's a midseason monster. Midseason monsters, these players will play like Moonmen by midseason. And that means that he has every bit as much value as Dotson, JSN in some ways, but it might be mid-season when that comes to fruition. So you got to be careful, and that context is important there. So MB, I hope that helped you, and thank you so much for your super chat. And Carrie said, Smitty, you need to make a Christian Watson animation. You are absolutely 100% correct. On that note, am out of here. Appreciate you all. Please subscribe if you're new. Hit that thumb up button on your way out the door. And on that note, don't sleep on our boy. Let's go with little Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Skywalker. lightsaber swinging Skywalker.
Feel better, genius. That boy, appreciate you. Terry Roberts, Ethan, MB, appreciate your super chat. Send MB to the moon.
To the moon.
MB, that $20 hauler, you magnificent man. It just made the rest of my night seeing that pop in. Appreciate you so much for helping keep the lights on. You are a monster, MB. I'll see you all tomorrow. Don't forget, we're live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're also live whenever news breaks, and we're pretty much doing the graveyard shift soon enough. Right now, it's kind of like, almost every day. But soon enough, it'll be just Thursday through Monday. So when the football week begins Thursday, the graveyard shows begin. And they don't end until after the Monday night game when we do the Monday night graveyard waiver wire show. Know what I'm saying? Pretty easy to follow along. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you, Mod Crew, Sick Nasty, Travis Rowe, Blackbeard. Blackbeard says, appreciate you, Smitty. Later, everyone hit that like button on your way out the door. This is an understated, not talked about enough moderator of mine, Blackbeard. He is an absolute gem, as is Travis. Terry Roberts, thank you for moderating. Terry Roberts, Travis Rowe, Sick Nasty, Blackbeard. This is the best mod crew in the world. I say a lot about Terry Roberts, so he knows I've got his back. But I don't say enough about Blackbeard, and I should. So let me go ahead and do this. This man, Blackbeard. Okay, appreciate him. Appreciate him greatly. Mod Squad to the moon. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Sick Nasty. Thank you, everybody. See you all tomorrow.
Get braced.